Welcome back to Nat 2.
I really got a burp. Where it's just the two of us.
Naturally.
Man. It's in there.
Don't.
It's in the chest, you know.
Y'all won't be able to hear it. I'll edit it out.
Yeah.
It's gross.
You'll get to
burps.
hear it, though.
I'll get to hear it at least 3 times. I'll listen to it once. I'll edit it out, and I'll have to listen to it.
At least 3 times. You're
I'll hear it now. I'll hear it when I listen back to it, and then I'll hear it when I have to edit it out.
Exactly. Oh, my God.
And the first time of Nat 2 history, we are recording with a animal in the room.
Indeed.
I have...
Guess what kind? It's a
horse.
velociraptor. There's a horse in the room.
There's a horse in the room. We're recording in a barn.
For atmosphere, you know.
Yeah.
This was taking place in the past. They didn't have cars.
That's true.
They had horses and stuff, you know.
Anyways, if you hear dulcet sounds of a cat cleaning itself, it's because there's a cat cleaning itself.
Yeah, itself.
His name's Hades.
His name's Hades.
And he's a little black cat.
Washing his little face. I like how cat tongues, it looks like they come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Like,
they
especially
just
on a black
materialize.
cat. Like, the cat, it doesn't even look like he's opening his mouth. It's just there's a pink object.
Yeah, he's fully black.
I wish I could do that.
He's very cute. What, just materialize your tongue?
No, like you know, you're like, oh, I'm dirty.
Oh, lick your face.
Like, well, I guess you can. Spit on your
Yeah,
hands.
I mean, people do that. They'll, like, lick
What
their...
people are you hanging out with?
Like, moms will, like, lick their thumb and, like, clean their kid's face
well,
off.
yeah, but that's
You could do that to
fully
yourself.
different. I mean, like, you know, you come home. Don't look at me. He's staring at me. You like come home from a long day at work, and you're like, man, that's so dirty. You just, you know what? Actually,
So funny, made yourself cough.
yeah, you know, I just realized that I don't want y'all to also have the visual that I just visualized. I have to make every bodily function. Got a cough, got a yawn, got a burp. All the mouth ones. I gotta do them.
Gotta talk.
Gotta talk. That's a function.
Gotta swallow.
Hear that? That's one of my least favorite things about, like, auditing the podcast, like going back and listening to it.
Auditing?
Yeah, like before you edit it.
Oh.
Like listening to it. I just want to use a fun word. You got a problem with that? Okay. QCing the podcast. One of my least favorite things about doing it before you edit it is this.
Yeah.
There's so much of that. I didn't realize that I was such a
Yeah, dude.
juicy mouthed.
And I'm such a good editor that I edit out all the ums. Well, not all of them. I edit out a lot of them. Let me tell you how many ums are in our frickin' unedited episodes. I edit out all the ums. I edit out all the frickin' pauses. I edit out the, like, when we go to say a sentence and we have to take a breath and swallow first.
You're ruining the movie magic, dude. They just think we're really on
Yeah,
point.
we're just really good, actually.
Yeah. You know what really is the real behind the scenes on this is when we're doing the scenes, it's like, I love you. I always, all of that.
Yeah.
Literally, even in between words, sometimes we have to pause because there's like every ambulance has a parade at once. Like it's always in like those scenes that's like, I don't know if I can ever love anybody ever again. Like, yeah, literally, like what probably happened is I said, I don't know if. Oh my gosh. Wait. I could, you know, like, that's what you're not hearing. So if you think any acting is going on, just know that we're like wearing like weighted vests and running through like a minefield. Here's the sound of a bone breaking. What
part of your body was
hip.
that?
I got the pop in his hips. I felt it. I like moved my leg in a weird way, and I was like, "This is gonna be a good one." Let's document this. You have your headphones pushed back in such a way that you've got just a little alfalfa going on. It's really cute. I think you should leave it.
No.
If I was no, if I was gonna draw if Fingers wore headphones ever, he would have that. Like, no matter
Just
what he
hair
tried to do.
sticking
Yeah,
out,
sticky uppy hair. That would be him.
Well, in the last episode.
Take it away, Shorty.
Shorty.
Shouty.
In the last episode, we got to get a little flavor of young Vahrae. Let me tell y'all how freaking difficult it was to do his voice and not sound like this, because a 13-year-old would not sound like this. And I still kind of did. I wanted him to sound a bit similar to how he does now. But
Look, I want to hear no criticism about Farniel's voice. I'm still workshopping
Listen,
it. Okay?
I gotta say, I liked his voice. I loved, there was a line that you said where you're like, if I fight you, I'm getting kicked out for sure. Like, it was so good how you said that.
She
I
gasses me.
freaking liked it so much. I, like, re-listened to it, like, 5 times. I was like, ooh, that was a good voice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Never mind. Then it's great, actually.
But we got a little flavor of 13-year-old Vahrae, what he was doing at the freaking last, like, year of the war, or last year he'd be 14. So, yeah, I mean, close enough. And he was going to the West Scallery School for Boys. Got a little flavor of what that was like, what he was like as a kid. And his first encounter with his now best mate, Farniel.
Farniel.
Who went to the same school. It was his senior by 2 years. So, freshman. He was a sophomore? Junior. He was a junior. Because it goes freshman, sophomore, junior. Yeah? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. It's like I've never gone to school before. And so, yeah, we got a little flavor of that. And then we had a Lucien and Tavamil flashback to just a nice little moment of them talking about his jacket and Tavamil fixing it. And then that brought us to the carriage, where Iffy and Yezi had a few cutting words with each other. And then Thalen was like, actually, we're going to shut up. And then Iffy asked Senthit about being in the war. Or maybe it was the other way around. Senthit maybe asked Iffy about being in the war. Being in the war came to be. And he started telling a story that then kind of led into an Iffy flashback of going on leave with the boys, going to a bar called the Foggy Chestnut, and having a time there. There was 2 letters that were involved, one from her parents and then one from a now fallen friend, Flavian.
Flavian the fallen friend.
Yeah. And F's in the chat for Flavian the fallen friend. And she talked to Vatil, her commanding officer, and everyone gave her crap for having a little crush. That she was like, I don't have a... Anyways, let's freaking get drunk. And she showed everyone how sick of a juggler she is.
Indeed.
And then went outside and encountered Lucien, whom she did not know was Lucien, and then realized was Lucien while Senthit told his story, because it was a story about being at that tavern. And, kind of didn't hear anything about what Senthit was saying because she was so wrapped up in her own kind of mind. And then Yezi received a letter that was from Hale's hawk or crow or whatever. I think it was a crow. I think he said it was a black crow that said that he got the Lakmai people off of her trail. The Wethway clan was no longer looking for Lucien in town. And the Odazer clan is out for Etheod. It's basically all it detailed. She told the folks about that. And then we go to the Odazer people looking for Etheod. Mm-hmm. Had a bit of a scuffle going on. Lucien got a bit of information out of one of them saying that they answer to the queen, and that something about Etheod's parents being sick, which who knows if that's true or not. That might just be some kind of weird tactic. Etheod, for the first time... Oh, Lucien freaking healed his goddamn leg.
Oh yeah, the impetus behind all of that.
Yeah, healed his leg, and then wild magic, like with terror. I don't know, like holy crap. And then got into that scuffle. Killed. There's 5 of them. Killed 2 of them. One's on their spell, so there's 2. One's injured, and then there's one that hasn't shown its face yet. And Lucian's gotten a little bit hurt. Etheod is he's fine. I mean, he was grappled, and I think he still is by the girl.
Yeah.
And Etheod, for the first time ever, killed somebody.
Yeah. We'll deal with that.
Yeah, we'll
at some
deal
point.
with that emotionally later. And we ended with the girl telling Etheod, your parents are sick and you can help them, and Etheod failing I think it was like a wisdom saving throw about his parents being sick, and then Lucien, I think, passed. Mm-hmm. And that's where we ended.
Cool. So, it is the winter of my discontent. Haha. It is the winter, this is Shakespeare. It's the winter of the first semester of that you are at the Scallery School for Boys.
Ooh, yep. West Scallery
School for Boys. And for just context, the school year starts at the same time as it would in America, at least. So that means it runs end of August to the
June.
Early July, late June, like that type of thing. So if you happen to be from another country, that is what this is based off of. So in the thus the school year, our prior episode, because it was the beginning of the school year, a couple weeks in, you were maybe like mid-September.
Okay.
It is now winter.
Properly
winter.
Okay.
It is December, shall we say. They probably have some cool word, like first frost, some kind of, cool term. You want to come up with that and email me. I won't use it because I'll forget. That was the one thing I got to say. In any media where they use fake times, I fully have no idea when anything takes place. It makes me crazy. Anyway, it's winter, and it is an unusually cold winter.
Okay.
Like, you have not gone to class in multiple days. Like, you are going now, but there were multiple days, even in early December, which is not always super cold, that you did not go because it was so cold.
Like, at a personal choice, or they were like, classes
it was
are canceled?
Like, there was too much snow, and that's just sort of like background information. So they're thinking like, oh, you'll have like a winter break that'll get cut shorter because you missed so much school already. So everybody's angry about that. You're going to school now. The snow is falling. It's all kind of shoveled. Obviously, these rich people would do that. Yeah. In the school buildings, because there's multiple, it's a campus type situation for these rich freaking kids.
Yeah.
There's like great fireplaces, and it is very warm in these buildings.
Yeah.
So it's like islands of warmth.
Okay.
In a sea of like freezing cold outside. Mm-hmm. And so you, Vahrae, are just leaving music class, the best class for you. What was that like for you? There's like a chamber orchestra that is, you were like in orchestra class.
Yeah.
And so you're playing with a bunch of other students, obviously.
I think that it's the class that he enjoys the most, or it's the class that he will consistently show up to. I'll put it that way. I don't think that he has ever missed going to like that particular class. I think all the other classes, it's like a 50-50 about whether or not he's going to show up. But I think this one, it's like almost a guarantee that he always will. But I think that he finds it incredibly boring. Like, he thinks that it's way below his level, and that he's in it because he's like, this is the only thing that was offered to me. But I know that I belong in something that is, I can play better than all these folks around me. I'm, standing next to 4 other violinists who are squawking over there, and
Yeah.
I'm,
You're the first chair violinist.
Yeah.
And this is the only class that you pay any attention in, and you're like a drill instructor. With
Yeah.
these. You're just like,
that's the wrong note. You got to get it right.
I don't know. This is a boy. This is a young boy. I don't know. My mummy and daddy never had me.
Sorry, how old are you?
I'm laughing at my voice that I landed on. I'm 13. I'm just, fancy and ooh.
Like, if you don't get it together, I'll find a way to get you out of this class. I'm not gonna be letting you bring me down.
All right. I guess that's a voice. I add a little string to my bow, if you will. It's that type of situation.
Yeah.
And your parents pay some concert violinist to give you private lessons and stuff like that. So, and everybody else is like, is it a B or a G or an H?
Oh my god.
Is an H isn't a note. No, it's an. I'm pretty sure it is. Yes, every good boy does horses or something. A B C. They're like counting down the whatever. And
Can I teach this class? I think I know more than all of you combined.
you don't know more than the teacher.
Oh, you don't think so?
I don't know. And they're like looking at you guys are like all talking in the corner. And so you leave that class feeling thoroughly irritated. And you're going to lunch. It is your lunch hour.
Lunch hour.
Indeed. And so you're walking down this ornate hallway, and there's kind of kids around you that are also coming from music class going to lunch. Like there's sections of lunch, and your class is in one. Are you kind of like talking to any of them, or just like staying to yourself?
Not. I think he's like, I think he doesn't have any, I think he'll go get food. Like, his intentions are, I'm going to go get food, and then I am going somewhere else to eat this. Like, I'm not staying in the cafeteria or whatever that they eat it at. Like, Great Hall. Yeah,
you hear like other kids go, well, my father said that he was going to buy the firm, and I don't approve of that because I think it's a waste of money, that type of thing. And then like other kids being like, did you go to the party across the, at the girls' school? We snuck in, and one of the teachers came in and absolutely lost her mind and ran out, and we got caught, and they had to pretend to be girls, and it was really embarrassing. That type of there. He's like the like lore, conversations going on, and as you walk down, trying to block all that out, you arrive in the cafeteria. And you get, there's like freaking roasted duck or whatever, whatever. Something schmancy.
Yeah.
They have like a good like chef or whatever.
Roasted duck and, cranberry.
Scalloped potatoes, that sort of thing. Actually, you know what? They don't have scalloped potatoes.
All right.
They would have
strong opinion on that.
They would have, I feel like they would have like French cuisine. Too good, even though it's French. I feel like they would have like vichyssoise or something like that.
Vichyssoise?
Yeah, potato soup.
Oh.
They would have, but it like, or they would have like, I don't know, like croissant, pastries and things like that.
Things like that.
Even though that voice is associated with Genazis. And you walk down there. What is Vahrae trying to eat? What's he about?
I think that he just grabs freaking whatever will be easiest. So he's just like, all right, mate, got that, put that on my plate. Duck, sure, I don't care. Like, grabs it, whatever, however much. Do they serve them, or do they kind of just take it themselves?
I feel like it would be buffet style.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
I think he does that, and he gets like some kind of vegetable and then he bounces.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's a balanced meal.
As
if I've
you
ever seen one.
as you grab your last thing, you have your tray with you. You feel on the back of your head the feeling of a paper ball, like a ball rolled up paper hitting you on the back of the head.
He very slowly turns his head around to see you through it.
When you turn your head around, you see the back of Farniel walking away from you. Roll an insight check.
Okay. 14.
You and Farniel, at this point in the semester,
Yeah.
have become sort of acquaintances that you have like a understanding. I think maybe friends would be, you would both be like, ooh, gross.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing. But you just, you're the only ones who can stand each other's company, and you've realized that.
Okay.
And so you could interpret this as, come on, get in, loser. We're going eating.
Okay,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, we're going to go eat somewhere else.
Okay, well then he takes his food with him.
Yeah. And so he's walking away from you and just assumes that you will follow him.
Yeah.
And go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay. Nat 20.
Really? Oh, dang, bro. Coming in hot. You hear around you, everyone go, did he throw a paper ball at the back of Vahrae's head and Vahrae didn't, like, lose his mind on him? What is going on? I stepped on his shoe one time by accident, and he threatened to beat me to death with his violin bow.
Yeah, I'll still do it. As he's like walking past.
Do you think you heard my thought? Was I speaking that loudly? What do you think you really will? You know, that type of thing. And you see like the wide-eyed glances of people who are surprised that someone can interact with you like that.
Yeah.
And also, I think that they have like a knowledge that you two are chill, but I think it's still pretty surprising because you're so frosty to everybody else. And so you say that over your shoulder, and you see Farniel in front of you, kind of like look back over his shoulder and like chuckle and keep walking. And he's like a good like 10 feet in front of you. It doesn't even look like you're walking together.
Yeah.
Like, you know that you're walking together. And so you just following him.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you follow him through the hallways of the school. You guys eat in different places at wherever. What is your favorite place to eat lunch with Farniel? Or like in the whole school, even if Farniel isn't there, like where are you gonna go?
I think that if you go behind the main building where like most of the classes take place, if you go behind the main building, there's like a wooded area. And I think that he goes there and there's like a rock, like a big like boulder at the very like edge that he'll just like sit there and eat because it's like so far away from the school that he doesn't hear any stupid kids screaming or, you know, like my father said that. Like he doesn't hear any of that, and it just is like he's not there.
Cool. So you guys walk in that direction. And as you walk there, do you try and strike up a conversation at all, or are you just walking in silence?
I think he's just walking in silence.
Good, roll a perception check.
21.
You hear,
From Farniel.
yeah, every so often.
I'm getting sick.
Something like that.
Can he make is he still behind him?
Yeah.
He's gonna like speed up to like walk next to him. He's gonna like stick his head down. He's gonna like lower his head and like stick it down so he can look up at Farniel.
When you do that, you notice that Farniel's nose is bleeding.
You fucking kidding me, bruv? Look, if you're gonna get into fights, you gotta at least win some of them.
I'm not getting into fights.
No, you're not getting into fights.
No.
You're just getting bloody noses and getting punched all over the place. You're not doing anything to incite it. You did it.
He's gonna like roll his eyes at you and keep walking.
Hey,
Kind of like,
I asked you a question.
yeah, I heard you.
Yeah, who did it?
What are you gonna do about it, 13-year-old
Oh, you want to see?
shortcake?
Shortcake.
He's gonna wink at you and keep
Well,
walking.
you're coming on to me, bro. He's gonna like freaking, go after him.
I'd be arrested.
Be arrested. You. Look, mate, you ain't that older than me.
He's like looking at you like how small you are. You're not like small for a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
But you're shorter than him.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like smiling down at you. And he's like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. What's the name? I just want to know. I'm just curious. That's it. Not gonna do anything.
Dave.
Dave. Dave who?
Dave Jenkins. He like
Coming in hot with the name. Can
He,
I
like-
roll a freaking insight?
Yeah, of course you can roll an insight check. DC is -12.
7.
That doesn't sound like a name.
You're lying to me.
As you say this, you guys arrive at the rock,
Yeah.
and Farniel is gonna sit like down, like with his back to it, sit on the ground, and kind of blow his nose into the napkin, and he's gonna say, "What, did you have music right before this?
Yeah.
Was that one kid the
Yeah, and he's getting on my fucking nerves, mate.
I bet.
He can't play a tune for nothing. What?
Poor kid.
Poor kid.
He probably
Poor
gets-
me. I have to stand there listening to him. I'm surrounded by imbeciles. I'm
That's a pretty big word for you, mate.
oh, big word for me. You want another bloody nose? I'll make it bleed even more.
He's got to stop first, or else it would just be a continuation of this bloody nose.
Yeah, well, I can make it last longer.
You're gonna hit me.
You want me to? Daring me.
Like I said, I don't want to get kicked out of this school.
I don't know why you keep saying that. It's not...
Do you really not know why?
Look, I understand who my parents are. I'm not a snitch.
The walls have ears.
The walls have ears.
That's all I'm
yeah,
saying.
Sure. Hate it. I hate that.
What do you hate?
I'm like treated like this object of high value. I don't care who my parents are. I don't want to be treated that way. Treat me like a normal person, We all got money. Doesn't mean anything.
You're a little punk.
Oh, I'm a punk.
Yeah.
Why you say that?
He's gonna just start eating.
What's with that look in your eye? Huh? You're gonna say that, you're gonna get all pissy. You're not gonna explain yourself.
Poor me.
Poor you.
Poor Vahrae. What do you want me to do? Cry?
No.
Sorry that you can do whatever you want and no one will touch you. Sounds like a nightmare. He's gonna blow his nose again.
Yeah, whatever. Don't know what I'm telling you anyways.
I don't know either.
Just kind of gives him a look. I think that he starts eating too.
They eat kind of quietly for a while. He's like, I don't know why I'm hanging out with you.
Yeah, me neither.
I guess I didn't realize what a spoiled brat you were.
Spoiled brat. We'll say that again. You said you don't want to pick fights with me. Sound like fighting words to me.
It's not fighting words, it's just true.
It's not true. You want to see a spoiled brat? Look at every face in there. Talking about disapproving of their father's purchases. Nothing to do with my parents' money.
You benefit from it.
Against my will. Not choosing to.
Well, if there's any consolation, that's not why I'm not beating you up.
Oh, What's the reason?
Well, I already told you what it was.
You get in trouble? Yeah.
And that's, I guess, partially got to do with your parents' influence, but it's also partially not.
What's the other part? Oh, you're going to be vague. You're going to dangle this thing in front of me, and then you'll be like, oh, but actually, I'm so mysterious and mystique. Me, Farniel. I'm a dark cloud. Nobody knows anything about me. I'll put a little bit of something out, so I'm still a bit interesting.
He, like, pushes your shoulder a little bit.
Like, elbows him.
I told you they would kick me out.
Why would it be so easy for you to get kicked out?
You know, not every kid's parents bought their way into this school. Some of us are just smart.
You smart, yeah. Believe that before I believe.
Uh-huh.
Nothing.
Sorry, you were about to call me stupid.
Be the truth, wouldn't it? Why do you even want to go to this school anyways? It would be so bad about getting out.
Opportunities.
Oh, we got dreams.
He's gonna, like, look at his lap and be like, I've got good grades. I mean, really good grades. And I applied here and I got in.
What does that matter?
I don't think you'd understand anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, you
if I
don't think
explain.
I'd understand? Well, do you don't think that I have good grades?
I don't care what... It doesn't matter what grades you have, first of all. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
What is that?
Like I said, don't care to use my parents' influence.
Doesn't
Besides,
matter.
I mean, no, you are right. It won't matter. Not going to use anything to do with them.
You think that just because you don't want it doesn't mean that doesn't follow you around.
Like, let's get off the topic of me. Right, we're talking about you.
We are talking about me. I'm explaining.
Alright?
I just think it's funny. You don't seem to see what's so obvious. I need a job. Go
Grades
into
are going to help you with that.
Is that surprising to you?
What the grades are going to help you get a job? We're in high school. High school grades aren't...
You're not going to go to university?
No.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Don't know why you would need to anyway. Or at least, I don't know, prestigious school like this. Maybe I could get a job. A good one.
Like what?
I don't know. Maybe I could do something with the military or something. What?
You one of those?
One of what?
What everybody got in their head that... Or this war's... I don't know. So interesting. So... It's the only thing that I hear people talk about around me. And it's not that interesting.
Of course it wouldn't be interesting to you.
Well, they don't know what they're talking about.
Neither do you.
You think so?
I know so.
Well, you say that?
What do you know about it?
I think he kind of like goes to say something and then fully closes his mouth. I guess you're right. Nothing. I can roll deception on that if you want.
What? Oh, the things. Yeah, go for it.
21.
What are you hiding?
Nothing.
Nat 20, baby. Sorry.
Oh, shit.
He's gonna, like, put his tray down and sit. He was like sitting with his legs out, like kind of looking down, playing with his nose. And he's gonna sit cross-legged, and he's just like looking at you with his hands in his lap.
Nothing.
Ooh,
What?
has that got something to do with it?
What you mean?
That's what it comes from. All that money. What are you doing?
Nothing, bruv.
Right.
Drop it.
I suppose I should be happy. We're thrashing them now. Giving them what they bloody deserve. Anyway. I'm here because I want a job. A good job. And seems like the best way to go about it. I don't have any other option. So, I'm here.
Good for you then. Glad you enjoy it. I think it gives him kind of like a dry smile.
Enjoy what?
Being here.
He's gonna like put one hand on his stomach and say, yeah, it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, well, you chose to be here, so.
I guess you weren't listening to what I said.
Just listening. You want to be here. Yeah?
No. I said I have to be here. I don't see how else, what the other path is, so I'm sort of stuck.
Plenty of people don't go here. They end up fine.
Right. You're right. Maybe I should just leave. If you want to roll insight.
Yeah. Nat 20.
Dang, look at us. When he says that, you notice also, like, his nosebleed stopped. And he's kind of always he's getting into scuffles a lot, or at least that's something that, occurs to you. Like, he had a nosebleed when you first met him.
Yeah.
Sometimes he does, sometimes he blames it on the weather, especially now that it's cold out. But you can see that he's gotten his face smashed in. Like, it's evident, that sort of thing. And what you don't see is something that you're realizing now is any evidence of him fighting back. He doesn't have any bruises on his knuckles. He doesn't have any physical indications that he's doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And so his desire to be here and anything like that, I mean, clearly something's going on, and something that he doesn't feel like he can do anything about.
Why don't you ever defend yourself?
I'm defending myself.
Do not know how.
What are you talking about? This is me defending myself.
No. That's not what I mean. Kind of like glances at his nosebleed. Got soft hands, bruv.
What are you talking about? He's gonna puts him behind his back.
You never ever look like you've fought anyone back. Just letting people beat you up. Where's that from?
I told you, Dave Jenkins.
I think that Vahrae's face stays serious.
What? Look, don't you be worrying about me.
Not worried. Just curious.
Don't be curious about me.
Don't tell me what to do. They're from kids around here. Can you roll insight on this silence?
Yeah.
18.
It's evident that it is from kids. There are no other kids around, but also the fact that he's not giving you any whatever, it seems like he's trying to prevent this conversation from progressing because it would have immediate implications. Like I said, you don't need to worry about me. Or be curious or anything like that. It's just the way it is.
Doesn't have to be.
Yeah, it does. Like I said, I'm not trying to test any waters. I know I'm already...
I'm not saying you got to do anything about it.
What are you talking about?
Give me a name.
No. What are you talking about?
Nothing. Nothing you need to be worried about.
He's gonna stand up, brush the dirt off his clothes. And you can see when he does that, he's brushing the dirt that was like on his butt from sitting on the ground. But he's got scuffs too on his shoes and pants that you didn't really pay attention to before. And kind of like missing threads on his stupid uniform blazer and like missing buttons and stuff. And he stands up and he goes, "You rich kids are scary." He's gonna turn and walk off.
Vahrae's just gonna let him. I think later that day, he's gonna go around asking a few questions about anyone seeing any fights recently. I think he's gonna try to find out who's been giving Farniel trouble.
Would you ask people in your grade or
Probably not. I think that he would ask people in Farniel's grade.
the juniors?
Yeah.
Okay, so they go to class like in a different it's like the same, they're different classrooms, which is one of the same buildings. You go to different buildings and they go to different buildings, and some of the classrooms are like shared, and it's just the class is different. And one of the classes that is shared with the juniors, the classrooms that shared, which is why both Farniel and you knew about it, is the music class. So the class right after your music class is their orchestra class. Is right after yours. Farniel is not. He's not musical. He's not in orchestra, so he's not there. He just knows that the classroom exists. And so after you have, I forgot my music today. That happened.
Yeah.
That class ends. You hear the sounds of some of the older boys coming into the class, and they're just like, "Yeah, I mean, she was really putting out for me. Like, this skirt was, it was like 2 inches. I really think that next time we're going to kiss for the first time. It's going to be really something." Like they're doing that conversation, and you're just like, "What? You've never kissed a girl before?" "Of course I have. I've just not kissed her. Obviously. What are you talking about?" Like they go and sit down, like these 2 kids.
Vahrae goes up to him. He's like, "Hey, I've got a few questions for you."
Yeah, and so
Hey.
Oh, are you the Sonic old kid?
Yeah.
I guess we better sit up straight. And they whatever. They kind of like lean back in their chair and cross their arms.
Got a few questions for you.
You're conducting an investigation or something?
Bit like that.
Anyway, so, and she...
I would pay a bit more attention if I were you.
What are you going to do about it?
Don't know if you want to find out.
They, like, stand up.
Yeah, I feel like he straightens out. Answer my questions. That's all I'll ask.
We've got better things to do than listen to you. And he's going to grab your cheek and, like, pinch it.
Yeah, he's going to grab his hand, and I think he's going to try to, like, twist it in a way that, like, twists his arm to hurt him. So,
okay, good roll, athletics.
Yeah. 14.
3. So he is fully not prepared. He goes like pinch your cheek and he thinks you're just gonna like back off.
Yeah.
And you grab his wrist and pull it back and twist it at an awkward angle. He's like, "Oh, ooh.
Will
you let go?
No.
What is it? What are your questions?"
You've seen any fights in your grave recently involving Farniel?
No, what? No fights. What are you talking about?
You haven't heard of any. You haven't seen any. You haven't heard of any.
It's not like he does. They don't. It's not a fight.
Okay, what is it?
I mean, Theo just punches him in the face every
Theo.
once in a while.
What's his name?
Yes. I
Theo
mean,
what?
it's not just him.
Who is it?
It's like his whole posse, whatever. They have some problem with him because he's one of the Herithia kids or something.
Some Herithia.
Yes, you didn't know that? He didn't talk to you? I know you two, like, make out in the...
He's gonna, like, twist his arm a little bit more.
Ooh. All right. Can you let go? You're like 13.
Theo who?
Theo Charlotte.
Theo Shallard.
Yes. What's it to you anyway? Like, he's gonna, like, yank at his arm and pull it free.
He's gonna, like, kind of toss his arm
Like,
back.
he's, like, rubbing his wrist, and he looks at the other kid, and the other kid's, like, not cool. Like, he's like, dang, this 13-year-old just broke your arm, I think. Well, anyway, so now you know, whatever.
What, do you know where I'd find him?
No, I don't know what class he is now. He's not an orchestra.
Alright. Good doing business with you.
Right.
He's gonna, like, kick the kid's, like, instrument case and walk out.
You hear, roll a perception check.
Alright. 4.
When you turn to walk away, you hear them whispering behind you, but you're thinking about, okay, where would he be?
Yeah.
And then you catch that maybe they said something under their breath as you walked away.
I think that, he pauses a little bit and he's like, well, say the ladder.
What?
You coward. Say the ladder.
I said it must be nice being you.
Must be nice being me.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Nobody messes with you.
Yeah, but nobody's, brave enough to try. They know I'd wear him out.
Kids are gonna, like, turn back and, like, roll their eyes, and they're just, like, going back to talking.
Yeah, he's gonna leave.
Cool. So, as you leave, is your target to go find where he is?
Yeah.
Cool. As you leave, what is your like goal? Like, you're gonna give this guy a piece of your mind, and
He's gonna beat him up.
Oh, okay, cool. So what do you're like? What does that look like? Like angry Vahrae, like fixing to do some fighting.
I think that he feels kind of like the anger in like the base of his throat. Like it's like he's ready to unleash freaking words of, pain.
Words of pain.
Words of pain. And I think that his ears get really hot, and like the tips of his ears get really like red and like pink, because it's just like it's just like generating so much heat from being angry. And I think that as he's like walking around, he's kind of like clenching his fists and like rubbing his thumbs on like his knuckles and stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So as you're doing that, like rubbing your freaking grinding your knuckles into your hand, and you're filled with evil rage intent somewhere else in another part of the world, in another time even. There's some other folks that are filled with evil rage intent. As you prepare for combat, they're already, as Vahrae prepares for combat, these fools are already in the thick of it.
Oh no.
And as Lucien, picking back up from where we left off,
Right.
yells at this tiefling rogue, "I ask for a name," you hear him reply, "Queen Malutana Viskar."
Good lord. Can Etheod roll history, or can he do that on his turn?
I'll have you do it on your turn.
Okay. Is that going to be an action?
I think, like, making a check is an action, but I feel like I don't care, and I'll just let you do it. All you have to do is think absentmindedly,
Yeah.
like, do I know about that? Alright, so that's gonna end Lucian's turn. He's just gonna stand. So right now, there is the one that is around Etheod's, like, at Etheod's feet.
Yeah.
The one that is, and Etheod and Lucien are back to back in the stairwell.
Yeah.
The one that is in front of Lucien, who is talking to him. The other two that were there are dead.
Yes. And then there's one more somewhere.
There's one there's 5.
Yeah.
Or that's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's one more somewhere in the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe not even in the
somewhere.
house. Yeah.
There's one somewhere.
All right. So I guess first things first, Etheod's going to roll history. 12.
You know, you were kind of extremely apolitical as a former child and also current child.
Yeah.
I mean, you were 10 years old when you were exiled,
Yeah.
and also you were extremely poor and out of the loop. Like, your family who did not love you or care about you was poor,
Yeah.
and you were not treated well, so... You really had a lot of other things going on. You said 12?
Yeah.
You have heard the Viscar last name in the context of, like, the royals or royal family, but you have no knowledge of the political... And you know that the Odazar clan, like, since the war has become expansionist because you hear people complain about it all the time, and they'll be like, my dad's cousin was killed in a raid by the whatever, and that nobody in Waypoint Town will trust you because you're a tiefling, because they're like, oh, they're evil and they're gonna kill us all, like they're gonna try. So you know that the Odazar clan has bad PR as of the war ending, and that is the queen's name apparently, and that's really the things that you would know.
Okay. Well, so I guess he has to make a wisdom saving throw first. Is it with advantage?
Yes.
Okay.
It only wasn't the first time because of compromised emotions.
Okay.
Yeah.
18.
Okay, so the moment that you think about it, you hear what she said, oh, your parents are sick and you can help them, you can save them, and you saying, oh, they want me back. As you say that, the thought of that being true, you realize that there's something about that is fundamentally impossible. Why? What is it and why?
I think that he thinks about that and then he kind of starts laughing and he's like, I was sick all the time. I was sick all of the time. I didn't care. And I'm going to help them. No. I feel like he's fully just like laughing and just saying over and like, no.
You see the girls like looking up at you with confusion and fear, you know, like surprised by your reaction.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
He's gonna try to fully just kick his legs free from her. 17.
Okay, she got she rolled a 5 on the die.
Okay.
Plus 3 is 8. Okay, cool. So imbued with it, like intense feelings.
Yeah.
Of varying, changing rapidly from whatever, one thing to another. She goes to kind of like reassert her grip on your legs after she feels you moving around, and you fully just yank your legs out of her grip.
Yeah.
So you're no longer grappled. And I'll say, because she was holding onto your legs, she's prone, so she'll spend her movement standing up on her turn. So you get out of her grip, and when you do that, I'm going to say you kind of like, for flavor, you kind of like back up into Lucien, who's kind of like looking back at you to see what's going on. You kind of you feel your backs touch, and so he knows that you're free from that. So now you're full like Mission Impossible back to back in the stairwell with 2 rogues coming in your direction.
Okay, cool.
Anything else?
I don't think so, because his only bonus action that he could do is let me make sure if thaumaturgy is a bonus action or not. No, it's an action. Cool. Yeah, he doesn't have any bonus actions that would make sense for him to do. So, yeah, it's gonna be his turn.
Cool. So as you do that, you feel your backs touch. The next thing that is going to happen is that what?
It's just the next thing that's going to happen is everyone dies. The house explodes.
Everyone instantly dies. The thief that is at your feet.
Right.
Or the rogue, rather. She is going to take out of her... She's going to use her movement to stand. She's going to take out of her pocket a glass vial that is full of just, like, moving, bright, flashing lights. Just all, like, shining through the outside of this vial that's got prismatic, diamondy glass, and slam it onto the ground. And she is going to roll for that.
What is it?
Color spray.
Oh, no.
So 60-10 is the total of how many hit points of creatures this spell can affect. Creatures in a 15-foot cone originating from you are affected in ascending order of their current hit points. Starting with a creature that has the lowest current hit points, each creature affected by this spell is blinded until the end of your next turn.
So I'm just making sure. 6 or 10d6.
60-10.
60-10?
60-10.
Okay, never mind.
Sorry, my bad.
Still abysmally low. 26 total hit points.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Etheod is blinded.
Yeah,
until the
Etheod's
end
blinded.
of your next turn.
So that just means that I just get disadvantage on attack rolls and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Cool. I think that, like, he's looking at it and he's like, what the hell? Oh, my...
Yeah. Like, right in his face. And she like looks up and like Lucian's head is kind of like halfway turned back because he doesn't really need to pay attention to the one that is charmed to his knowledge. He like looks back and like blinks a couple times and is looking directly at her and she's like, ew. Oh no.
Oh no.
She already used her thing to stand up. As a bonus action, she could dash. Cool. And you're blinded, so you don't get... Would you get an attack of opportunity if she runs away and you're blinded? I feel like no.
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. So we'll do that. Great. As a bonus action, she is going to dash.
Okay. And he hears her running away?
Yeah.
Cool.
You just hear, like, the pitter-patter of little feet.
Yeah.
And, yep, that is going to be her turn.
I can't see. Oh, no.
It's alright, mate.
Is this like a forever thing
No,
now?
just stick to me.
Okay.
And he is going to that's gonna end her turn, and then the other one that is charmed is gonna roll a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
This poor guy. It's Lucian's friggin' spell save DC is so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. He rolled a 9. His is 17. It's not even close. You see him kind of like, you don't see Jack. But yeah, the camera, he like kind of like shakes his head a little bit and Lucian like cracks a smile. Cool. And that's going to end his turn. We're going to roll something else real quick.
Secret rolls.
Yep, secret rolls. All right. Lucian is going to look back over his shoulder at you and say, any more questions?
Erkor. Is that in any way involved, that name?
You roll a, I know it's not your turn, roll a insight check.
Okay. Disadvantage because I'm blind?
Yeah.
5. I had it rolled a 2 and a nat 20.
Oh man. Yeah, you're blind.
Yeah.
You're dealing with that. Like you're like blinking your eyes and seeing what you can and can't see. And so you say that kind of almost like as an afterthought because you're like, what is this that's going on? And there's an echo who you heard him say it. Is that anything I have to do with what's going on? And the charmed one is going to say, Etheod's parents. And he's going to say, oh, you mean the traitors?
What?
And Lucian is going to... That's going to be the end of his communication. Lucian is going to look at you and say, we can't do this forever. We've got to keep moving.
Yes.
I can't leave him alive.
Okay.
And he is going to cast... I will let you stop him if you want that information. The information that this Tiefling will give you on their turn. I'll let you roll to see if you can convince Lucian to stop.
Can we just ask one more question?
Mate.
Please.
Alright, roll persuasion with disadvantage.
5.
Lucian is going to say, we don't have time. And he's going to cast inflict wounds. Yeah, 3d10 necrotic damage. Can't do, like the ones that have the zeros on them?
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't know what it says. Okay. 9.
Ooh.
10.
Holy crap.
And 1. Still pretty good.
20 damage?
20 damage.
Good lord.
And 20 damage to this guy. And when you see him use it, because
I don't see anything, I'm blind.
that's true. You can hear it though.
Oh.
And you hear the sizzling of this thing's flesh.
Ooh.
And you can hear it cry out in pain. I mean, 20 damage is pretty, your HP plus.
Yeah.
You can hear it just like moaning, like, in pain as his skin sizzles, and you can smell it in the air. Since all of your eyes are so dulled, all your other senses are super heightened, you can smell that. Yeah, so that happens, and that is going to be Lucian's turn. He's not going to move, but he's going to take his hand, because you guys are back to back. He's going to take his other hand, and he's going to, like, grab you so that you two are connected.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get, like, snatched and separated, even though you're behind him. Cool. So he's getting fried. Obviously, the charm is over, as one would imagine. And that is going to be Lucian's turn.
Cool. So, Etheod wants to try to make this guy roll some kind, maybe like a constitution save to not be frightened by Etheod. Mm-hmm. This is kind of hinky, but I'll let you know. Mm-hmm. He wants to cast Thaumaturgy, and he can have 3 of its effects, of its 1 minute effects, active at one time. Mm-hmm. And so what he wants to do is he wants his voice to be 3 times as loud as normal. He wants harmless tremors in the ground, and he wants any of the candles that are lit around, to light up the hallway and stuff, to flicker and brighten. All of these last for 1 minute, and he wants to try to make this guy make a Constitution check so that he's not frightened from Etheod. I feel like this guy could make it with advantage because he's also a tiefling. Okay. Because this is a trait that tieflings have. Mm-hmm. And Etheod's going to say, I left the clan, so just leave me the fuck alone.
Oh, snap. So, as your voice, booms, I'm also going to roll a con save for Lucian.
Okay.
To see if he gets frightened.
Okay.
What does the frightened effect do? You have to, you have to move away from them?
Yes. A frightened creature has
disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight. Cannot willingly move closer, so he wouldn't have to move away. He just couldn't. He'd probably let go of you.
Could Lucian roll with advantage because he knows me?
Think that's why he wouldn't roll with advantage, because you're doing something that he is not. He's also pretty off kilter at the moment, due to his prior weird time. Okay, so I think he'll roll straight. Okay. So as your voice booms, you feel the tremors in the ground. You can feel even the wall, it reverberating in your own skull, and you basically scream it point blank at Lucian's head because he's so close to you. And you see him, actually, let's find out what you see him do. You, the audience, not Etheod. Yeah, actually, you're probably even closer to him than you think you are because you can't see him. Would it be against your spell save DC?
We could do that way. My spell save DC is 13.
Okay, cool. So he's got to be 13 with con. He beats the heck out of it. Oh,
heck yeah.
So you see, as you, unleash this effect from your body. You can feel this fire like burning in your stomach. You can feel it's kind of like been building this entire time. At first it was just sort of like a heat, and now it's like painful, and you can feel it like leaking from this center point in your body into your veins, and it's like filling them with this white hot energy. And as you release that, you can feel the release of that from yourself. As you do that, you feel Lucien in your grip jump slightly at just pure shock at the noise, like the sudden sound. But you feel his grip even tighten on your shirt out of fear when you make that noise.
Yeah.
And you can tell that despite your inability to hear, you feel him kind of change his position so that he's even more in between you and this other guy. He kind of takes his arm as he grips tighter onto your clothes and even kind of pushes you back farther behind him, kind of twisting his body to the side.
Yeah.
We'll see if he gets a scurred, Mr. Tiefling. You don't see anything.
Okay.
But you do hear a noise of surprise, just like, and you can hear stumbling backward.
Yeah.
And you hear the sounds of someone kind of grappling towards something and then glass shattering on the ground, just like someone backing up and having stepped into something, a vase or something like that. And this tiefling is under the effect of the frightened condition.
Heck yeah.
So he's going to roll disadvantage for ability checks and attack rolls while you are within his line of sight. And he can't willingly move closer to you.
Sick.
How long does the frightened condition last?
I don't know how long it lasts.
Okay.
I think that they can continue to roll to see if they're frightened.
Oh, I see. Okay, so he'd roll another con save. Yeah. On his next turn. Okay, cool. Any other fun Etheod activities?
And he's gonna move 30 feet down the stairs, or I'm gonna try to because you can't see.
Are you going to? Okay, I will let you.
I'll move with Lucien.
If you're gonna try and move Lucien, also your speed's gonna be halved. And I will have you. You can't see, so I will make you roll luck to see if you fall down the stairs.
Okay, he's gonna wait.
Okay. So anything else for this turn?
I think that he'll just say to Lucien, can you help me see?
Who answer? Jeez, Etheod. He like implied he knows what the person did, and he knows that it'll be temporary. And as you hear him say those words, you blink back into vision the world.
Oh wow!
See, I told you.
What'd you do?
He's gonna like chuckle and like wink at him. Cool. And that ends your turn.
Yep.
Cool. It is the tiefling's turn. So the one who got a scurred is going to roll a little con save. Ooh, and is no longer afraid.
Okay. Brief moment of fear.
A brief, just. Ooh.
Do they roll at the end of their turn or at the beginning? I think it's at the beginning, probably.
Homebrewed.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
He is going to. He's like, and like stands back up, and he's like, "That was a good trick." And he is going to take a step towards Lucien, and going to friggin' go monkey mode.
Go monkey
mode on him. Cool. So he is going to he is going to stab him with his dagger.
Okay. Miss.
So he's like, that was a fun trick or whatever he said. Yeah. He pulls out his dagger, and when he pulls it out, his hands are sweaty from having been scared, and he goes to pull it out and kind of like fumbles it a little bit, and goes to like lift up his hand to stab Lucien, fully just lets go of the dagger and disarms himself. And it like lands, it like pokes into, like Lucien does a little sidestep and it sticks into the hallway wall. And that's gonna be his turn. So now he's disarmed. Let me make a note of that. So, as he disarms himself, he stands there, facing you, both of you, in the hallway. Now you can see this. And all of a sudden you feel something at your feet.
Just gonna look down.
And you start hearing,
What the fuck?
you feel something moving. And Lucien goes, Etheod, behind you!
Okay.
And you turn and you see, getting to his feet, still with the wound slashed across his face,
What the fuck?
the individual that you dispatched earlier in the fight.
Lucien, we have to leave. We have to get out of here.
You hear, Lucien opens his mouth to say something, and all of a sudden you hear
What?
the same noise.
From
as
Lucien?
the one, nope.
Oh.
No, don't you worry.
Oh.
As you see the one that is in front of Lucien get to its feet as well. They're just staring at you. And you can tell they're staring, both of them are staring at you wide-eyed, not making any facial expressions. And you see the one who just disarmed himself kind of step back a step.
Oh, he's like also surprised?
He looks, roll insight.
All right. 19.
He looks sort of just a little bit disgusted. Like he's trying to make space between him and whatever these things are. So there's that. They're both going to stand up. There's one behind you. The one behind you is going to kind of lumber towards you.
Okay.
And going to try and grapple you.
Okay.
So roll athletics.
11.
You kind of like duck underneath his arm, and it kind of like lumbers towards you. And as you duck underneath its like arm, as it kind of swipes against you, you dip underneath it, and just as you think you're clearing it, it wraps its fingers into the back of your shirt and pulls itself into you.
Okay.
So you're locked down, but you are still right next to Lucien, and he is still holding on to you.
Okay.
So that's that one's turn. And the other one is going to walk towards Lucien. Mm-hmm. Like he makes moves towards Lucien, so Lucien's going to get an attack of opportunity against him first. So we'll do that first. Cool. He friggin' hits. He's going to cast Sacred Flame. And that'll be 2d8. He's going to make a Dexterity 17 saving throw. And got an 18 and a 5. That was close. So 2d8, and so I'll roll that. 5. 3 is 8. 2 is 10. 1 is 11. So he pulls out this like burning hot potion and just like splashes it on this thing that like groans in pain, and you can see like its sizzling skin, and it's like bright white fire, like it's like bright white and hot, where he throws it, and you see Lucy go as he tosses it, because like the vial's hot or something. It just like it burns this thing, like gets all over its body. As it kind of lumbers towards you, it's kind of falls away slightly, but then rights itself, and is going to grapple you also.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So you're going to be disadvantage athletics check. We'll do that.
3.
3? Okay, cool. So as you're already, grappled on the top by this one, the other one's going to kind of like grab around the waist, and it's damaged.
Yeah.
So as it kind of lumbers towards you, it stumbles down the stairs and grabs at your legs. And Lucien is like looking at this like wide-eyed, like it's not something that he's ever. You can kind of you get the sense that he's also mystified as to what's going on. Cool. So that's them two. The charmed one already disarmed himself. Cool. Secret time. Okie dokie. So now it's gonna be Lucian's turn.
All right. Didn't
and
Lucian just go?
Lucian got an attack of opportunity.
Oh, that was an...
Yeah, so
oh,
that
okay.
was that. Lucian is going to channel divinity, turn undead. And so the undead have to make a wisdom saving throw, or they basically get frightened.
Yeah.
It has to spend its turn trying to move as far away from you as it can and can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you, can't take reactions. It can only use the dash action to try to escape. Cool, so they're going to make the saves.
Glad I have a cleric on my side.
Yeah, dude.
Because what the fuck?
Who knows, man? Oh! No way.
What?
I thought one of them was going to make the save and it didn't.
Oh, okay.
Because it's got a -1 to wisdom. Cool. Alright, so they're both like surrounding you, they're wrapped up, and you can hear them like in your ear.
Get off.
Lucian's like hand is like trying to pull you towards him while
Yeah.
they try and just like surround you with themselves. And Lucian is going to take his hand, let go of you briefly, and put his hand up, and he closes his eyes, and you see his hand kind of glow like a golden light kind of spread forth from his hand, and then all of a sudden you hear as the like zombies like they start like
Yeah.
freak out and like sizzling behind his hand in this light, and they like detach themselves from you, and they're kind of dragging themselves across you as they do that. And you can feel their blood and everything coming out of them dripping against your body, and they start kind of lumbering down the stairs, just making like awful, horrifying noises.
Lucian, are you a fucking god? What the fuck?
It's just I'm a cleric.
I don't know what that means.
We'll explain later. And he's gonna kind of like grab onto you.
Yeah.
That'll be his interactive object. And he's grabbing onto you. He's gonna start walking you down the stairs.
Okay.
And so you'll move 15 feet down the stairs.
Okay.
So now you're at the bottom of the stairs, and you hear when you move. Well, I guess I'll have you do that on your turn, which is next. You're gonna walk down the stairs, and Lucian, when he hears things, he's looking at the guy and kind of like peeks his eye around the corner of the staircase. And that is gonna be your turn.
Cool. So we're at the bottom of the stairs?
Yeah. Go ahead, roll. This is not an action, just roll perception.
Okay. 3.
You can hear kind of around you just sounds of like lumbering zombies. You hear shortly thereafter the sounds of breaking glass.
Okay.
Like they're trying as hard as they can to get away from you.
Yeah.
And you hear just kind of general movement sounds, kind of the sounds that you've been hearing the entire time of amorphous movement.
Yeah.
And then outside, just general sort of the noises of outside. And you're trying to like focus in on something, but something else keeps happening every time you do. So that's that on that.
Okay. Kitchen. Wait. The kitchen.
Right.
He's gonna go to the kitchen. He's gonna use some movement that he has to go to the kitchen.
Okay, cool. So
Does he
as
make
you
it there, or
as you go around the corner, you invite an attack of opportunity, and someone's gonna try and grapple you.
okay. Oh, I gotta roll against. Nat 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you.
He's like, fucking get off of me.
I'm done with this. Yeah. So as you go around the corner to get into the kitchen, you're like 30 feet away. You'll be standing like you could go through the kitchen pretty much. So as you round the corner, you feel wrap around your body familiar arms that had wrapped around your body moments ago of the female tiefling. And when she does that, she's going to whisper. You feel yourself be caught because it was surprising to you.
Yeah.
You come out the cut. You feel her body, her arms like wrap around your body, and you hear her say, "Don't you want to help your parents?" And as she says that, you're filled once again with 16-year-old rage and frustration at the idea of helping your parents do anything when they never helped you. And what do you do?
I think that he hears that, and I think that he's just like, no, they can rot in hell. And he's gonna like shoulder her backwards.
Snap. Cool. So you like slam your body into hers, and she gets slammed up against the wall, and you can go past her if you want to, or you can stand there and go toe to toe with the world champ. Do you want to keep making your 30 feet of movement?
Yeah. I think so.
Are you know, there's like a table. Are you getting cover or anything? Or are you just going to start?
I think, he just wants to start making an investigation check to where the hell this entrance exit situation might be.
Okay, I will let you do that.
Okay, cool.
Because all you did was get a tap of opportunity. So yeah, so you still have your action.
9.
There are cabinets, there's a bookshelf, there's a table, there's a lot of large pieces of furniture that it could be behind, you know, there's whatever, you could start with that.
Okay.
Pick one.
The bookshelf.
Okay, so you just start kind of tearing up this bookshelf to see if there's like the book that you pull, you know, that type. There's like yanking books. He's like, I read the book one time. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, cool. So you just start taking books off the shelf, and you hear behind you, what is going on? Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Can I? So, fast hands, I have that. Starting at 3rd level, you can use the bonus action granted by your cunning action to make a dexterity sleight of hand check. Use your thieves' tools to disarm a trap or open a lock, or take the use an object action.
Ooh.
So, can I use my fast hands feat to make another investigation check?
Yeah, do it.
Sweet.
I love it. It's funny how this freaking Lucien being a cleric turns undead, and you're like, okay, I'm the traps guy.
I am the fastest person in the
world. I'm going to find the freaking door.
Please.
Yep. What'd you get?
Unnatural 20.
Oh, snap. Okay, cool. So when you make this investigation check, you imagine, you're like, okay, house. If I was going to have a door to a tunnel,
where would it be?
Where would it be? You imagine your house, really the only other house you've ever been in, and you remember in your house when you were a kid, your parents had a basement, and you've never been in there. You'd never been allowed to be in there. You had no idea what was going on, and there was a basement. It was interesting though that you were never really privy to the goings-on and workings of your parents and the things that they did. But sometimes you would hear voices underneath your house. It didn't always sound like your parents. It sounded like maybe other voices. Nothing that you could ever even imagine finding out. You getting yourself into that.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you were listening to them without them knowing would have been grounds for etc. But you remember, you knew that the door was in the floor. It was one of the ones, if you've ever been in New York City, you know what I'm talking about? That's where it was. And if you're trying to you've been in the tunnels, you know that they're underground.
Yeah.
You are very putting together that the door must be in the floor.
Okay. Cool. Is he able to do anything about that, or can he do something about that on his next turn?
I will let you do something about it on your next turn.
Okay, cool.
So, the tiefling that is in the room with you is going to, as you are turned, messing around with you're like staring at the room like from afar, she's going to turn and say, Etheod, you can't be so heartless. Think about them. Your own parents?
He's freaking like looking around, and he sticks his hands to his ears. No.
Before you do that, you're going to make another wisdom saving throw.
Advantage or disadvantage?
Oh, goodness. With advantage.
11.
Your house. Your parents. You think about the few times you've heard them kind of being sweet and gentle with each other, like laughing, touch each other in a way that was, loving, like hand on the shoulder or something like that, like a glance that you would steal, and imagine them thinking about you that way, with fondness. And you remember the only time you ever can remember making them laugh. And they both laughed. And there was no, you don't recall, at least, not at the moment, any negative repercussions from that. You remember the feeling of wishing that it was like that all the time. But maybe it could be now. Maybe it could be.
What are you doing to me?
They need you, Etheod.
Stop.
They're asking for you.
No.
Come with me. And she is going to kind of put her hands up and do the little finger towards her, beckoning you, and start walking through the kitchen out the back door.
Okay.
And you are going to follow her on your next turn. Unless you can save. Well, yeah. Well, this would be the save. I would let you save after you completed that action.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's her doing that. So the one that was charmed is going to attack next, and he's going to run towards Lucien and just slash at him with his tiefling claws. And he hits for 6. He slashes Lucien across the side of his face, and is gonna be there. That's where his turn is gonna end. And then the 2 that were raised undead, turned undead, are still, you can hear them in the distance getting farther away. I'm gonna roll their wisdom saves real quick, and shockingly, whoa. Oh, okay, they both fail. That second one is really Megan. He's like, I have mental strength. No, I don't. And then actually, I'm scared. And then dead. And he keeps running away in the direction of away. All at once, you hear Etheod. You hear kind of a muffled yell. I'm not gonna make you roll for it because it's loud, but
okay.
it's muffled. And the girl in front of you that was walking and following you, you're following her.
Yeah.
Transforms before you.
Okay.
Fully into a tiefling.
Okay.
From her, the Thieves Guild uniform, everything, all that stuff completely falls away from her. And standing there before you, you see in traditional tiefling garb from the back, a tiefling.
Okay.
Because before, when they were disguised, they said that they were tieflings and they were disguised as just thieves, like Thieves Guild thieves. And now she is before you, the first one you've seen since Fingers. You can see her horns from the back as she walks, and she kind of takes a minute to herself to sort of deal with the fact that now that has happened.
Yeah.
You can see that happen before you.
Okay.
And now it is going to be Lucian's turn. He got kind of messed up. He's gonna freaking kill the one, the one that's behind him. He is going to cast. Lucian is gonna cast Sacred Flame, and he's gonna hit. They have to make the saving throw. So yes, he hits, and he is going to 2d8 of radiant damage, and he is not undead, so unfortunately just does 2d8, and I threw my d8 on the floor. That's 9 straight up. That sure does suck. He's going to use a Sacred Flame, and he casts it, and this tiefling gets engulfed in the same kind of burning hot fire. And it's burning away at his clothes, his skin, everything. And as Lucian turns to run down the stairs to go find out what's going on with you. He triggers an attack of opportunity because the guy has 1 hit point left.
Holy crap!
Yep. I'm friggin' so mad about it. Guy's going to friggin' hit him again, and he's going to do an unarmed strike, which we determined was 1d4 plus 3 for him, and he's going to hit him for 7.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez. Okay, Lucien is thoroughly... He's not doing so hot.
How many hit points?
He's from 80, he's down to 49. So it could be worse.
Yeah.
Could be a lot worse, but I mean, he's almost at half. And Etheod, you can hear from upstairs, you hear the like like burning of flesh and like upset and pained tiefling noises, and then you just hear Lucien go "oh" again. So clearly to you, whatever hasn't happened. He still does go down the stairs though.
Okay.
And you can hear him running behind you, and he runs up behind you, and I feel like a rough hand grab in your shoulder and kind of pull you backwards. He's like, Etheod, what's going on? And that's gonna be the end of his turn. And it is your turn.
Cool. I'm gonna make that wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, so you followed her a ways, and now, like, Lucien is behind you. So you're, like, meaningfully away from the kitchen now.
Okay. 18.
Dang, boy. Cool. All right, so Lucien, the moment Lucien kind of pulls at you, he kind of pulls you out of this reverie, you hear his voice. It sounds really urgent. And you can hear in his voice kind of like a tinge of pain. Like it's you heard him in pain upstairs, but it kind of, you realize what's going on and that this is more important.
Ugh, get out of my fucking head. Okay. And I think that he like turns back around and he looks at Lucy. He's like, it's fine, and like goes past him to try to go back into the kitchen. I know that I used some of my movement. How much of my movement do I have left?
I'll say that you moved the full 30 feet because
Okay.
she said follow me, and so
Then he's gonna bonus action dash into the kitchen.
oh nice. Okay, cool. So you're gonna dash past Lucien back into the kitchen and go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay. 11.
You are certain there is something going on outside. You can hear the sounds of a struggle happening outside, or at least like noises.
Yeah.
You are focused fully on the task at hand, which
Okay.
is finding this place, but now potentially with a tighter time crunch than you think.
Yeah.
It also occurs to you that there are tiefling rogues around. You have seen hide nor hair of Meredith and the kids.
Yeah.
So either they're outside, I mean, very much the options are they're outside, they're still in the house somewhere, or they're in the tunnel already.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Okay. Can he communicate that to Lucien?
Yeah.
Lucien, I don't know what's going on, but something's happening outside. I have an idea of where the tunnel might be, but I don't know if they're even there.
Okay, that's what you're
Yeah.
communicating? Okay. And are you going to look for it again? The tunnel?
Yeah, he'll look for it again, just so that he knows where it is. I think that he's like gonna push like furniture out of the, because obviously cursory glance on the ground doesn't see
Yeah,
it.
he's just like getting stuff out of the
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Unnatural 20.
What would be noteworthy to maybe, like, presumably this is something that Meredith would have made sure was there. What is noteworthy to Meredith? What is important? What would occur to him that Meredith might attach some sort of special meaning to?
Where her rocking chair is, she had a little, like, she had like a table by it that had Daniel's stuff on it. Like the little like rock heart that had like the Daniel's initial on it and stuff. And I think that he like sees that, and I think that the rocking chair is kind of like a fabric rocking chair, so it's like you can't see the bottom of it. And I think they kind of looks over there, he's like, I don't know, maybe, and he like pushes those out of the way.
Okay. When you push those out of the way, you said, what did you roll, an unnat 20? When you push them out of the way, you feel as the rocking chair moves, it goes over something.
Okay.
Like the sound of chairs scratching on the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna roll something real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll a luck check to see if Lucien can break the rules. He cannot.
Okay.
Please continue.
Well, that's it.
Okay, so you move the chair out of the way, and you're like looking at the ground. And I'll say that you see what appears to you to be the seams of the floor are like more gapped in one area than other parts of the floor.
Okay. Cool.
Dang, these investigation rolls were so nice. I was like, she ain't gonna find this thing.
Yeah.
Friggin', of course you find it immediately.
I am smart.
Yeah, I was like, when you're like, unnat 20, I was like, okay, he freaking, the second unnat 20. Well, I guess you have, like, fancy schmancy good at this. Cool. All right, so you're standing there on top of basically the what you presume to be the door to the tunnel. And does that end your turn?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, you're in the corner, Etheod. And you're in the corner, the far corner closest to the doorway near the staircase. Mm-hmm. And you hear coming around the corner something.
Okay.
Some sort of the sound of something creeping around the corner. And as you kind of turn to understand what it is that's going on, you hear a gasp from Lucien's direction as the now tiefling-looking tiefling, the one that was charmed, rounds the corner brandishing a dagger. And as you turn and look, you see that his skin is burned off. Like, he's got patches of him that are just skull. Ooh. And his horns are burned. And he's got the dripping, melting flesh of the corpses that you saw earlier with the inflict wounds, like bubbling skin, and the edges of the burned areas are black, and he looks at you with one focused eye and goes to drop this dagger. Goes to plunge it into you, presumably. And all of a sudden, he stops.
Okay.
And his arm stops in midair. And his fingers uncurl. And the dagger drops to the ground. And he crumples to the ground in front of you. And you hear someone say, "You guys okay?"
Fingers!
Etheod! And he's gonna pull himself around the corner and slam his body into a hug. Are you alright, man?
I'm fine.
And that's gonna be that moment. There's that. The gasp that you heard in the direction of Lucien was not Lucien, it was the girl.
Okay.
And she is going to run up behind Lucien, and she's going to try and grapple him. Cool. She is, let me see what. Rogues are squishy, but clerics are squishy. Yeah. Also, he's not feeling so hot, so that'll be my flavor justification for why he's big and tall and she's much smaller. She's not much smaller because she's a tiefling, so you're tall as heck, but she's slight, and he's ugh. She is going to walk up behind him, and you two, you Etheod and Fingers, you guys are hugging it out, slammed into the wall, and you hear behind you the sound of, or to your side, the sound of a struggle as she wraps her arm around Lucien's neck and just pulls him backwards towards her. You hear Lucien go as his air is cut off.
Okay.
And she screams, "What do you think you're doing? We're supposed to be capturing him." And that's gonna be her turn.
At freaking Fingers? Is that who she's talking to?
Well, you'll find out.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be something? And now it is not Etheod's turn, nor is it the tiefling's turn, nor is it Finger's turn, nor is it Lucien's turn.
No.
You hear the sounds of someone loudly lumbering through the front room. Say, "Is everything all right in there?" That'll end his turn. Whoever that is. And now it's Finger's turn. Fingers has his like arms wrapped around you. You didn't get hit, but you have blood on you from the various folks. And he's kind of like he like kind of pulls away from you, and he's like, "You'll be okay." Mm-hmm. And he's going to go over to Lucien. Mm-hmm. And when he looks at you, good roll insight.
All right. 10.
The last time Fingers killed somebody, he did not react like that. He is going to pull away from you.
Yep.
He is going to pull away from you and run over to Lucien and this girl. And she has him like one arm like pulling him backwards into her.
Yeah.
And you can see Lucien is kind of struggling against her grip, but he still fully has a broken ribs and a broken arm. And so he's really only got kind of one arm, and he's kind of twisted at an awkward angle. And he's like shuffling backwards as she pulls him backwards. And Fingers is going to turn to her and say, "You can give it up now. You can let go. It's all over. You're done." And he's kind of walking up on her. And as he says that, a knife slides out of his sleeve and into his hand. Uh-huh. And he's just kind of like walking up in her direction. He's going to roll Intimidate.
Okay.
Ooh. He got a 19 Intimidate. Actually, he gets a plus, which I forgot about. It's not him. He gets a +5. He gets a 24. You can see him from, you can't see in front of him, you can see him from behind. He's twitching. Yeah. Like he's like kind of hunched over. And you can see his hand is the one that doesn't have the knife in it is just twitching like rhythmically. And you can see when he does that, she like looks up at him and her eyes get wide and her grip. She starts kind of looking at him like she's confused about what it is that she's looking at. Yeah. Because he's in disguise as not Fingers. Oh. Right? Like he's still painted up the way that he was. Yeah, I forgot about that. And so she's like, what is this person? Who is this person? Like she's like just another person. Yeah. And her grip is going to kind of loosen. And as he kind of walks up, he's like kind of playing with the knife in front of her. It is going to be Lucien's turn next, and he's going to have advantage on the strength check to get away. Okay, so he rolled a 17. Let me see what she rolls. She rolled a 6.
Okay, cool.
So, when he does that, Lucien like is pulling her arm away, feels her grip loosen, and fully yanks his arm out. And he's going to turn and he's going to bonus action healing word. And he's going to heal Fingers. Oh. Who, as you, Etheod, are looking on to this scene, when Fingers hugged you, you were really focused on, whoa, my gosh, Fingers appeared out of nowhere. And then when he kind of like went crazy for a second, like, it's like got, he's like, I'll be right back. That type of thing. You were focused really on the way that he was looking at you. Yeah, he had blood on him. You had blood on you. And you're realizing as you walk, you can see in his footsteps droplets of blood, and Lucien is going to take a potion out of his pocket, and it's like golden light, and he's gonna hand it to Fingers, like kind of put it in his like hand, and you see him wrap fingers around it, and he goes, "Take this," and Fingers is gonna take it, and it is 1d4 plus spellcasting ability modifier 9.
Damn.
Level 10, baby. That is 2 plus 9 is 11. Ooh, look at that. And Fingers knocks it back, and you can see he kind of like shakes his head, like a shiver kind of goes up through his body. And when he breathes out, there's like kind of like a hint of like when you breathe out and it's cold outside. There's like you can like see his breath as he breathes out. And Lucien is going to, he's like standing right next to Fingers. And they're kind of just standing in between you and this girl, and you're pretty far away. That is going to be Lucien's turn, so it's yours now.
Okay. Can Etheod make a perception check to that other voice?
What other voice?
The one that was like, "Is everything all right in here?" The one that was very
right.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, indeed.
Okay. 5.
You have no idea.
Okay, cool. Well, then he's going to bonus action, fast hands, to interact with the door at the bottom and open it. So I'll make a sleight of hand check to see if I can open it.
Okay.
Cool. That one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you are like, like, hands shaking, like, what's going on? I don't know who that voice is. Okay, Fingers is hurt, and now he's fine now, but Lucien's still hurt, but, HP totals. This girl is, like, backing up, and they're standing between me and her, and I gotta unlock this door, everything, and your hands are so sweaty, you can't even, like, you don't even know the door practically, you can't even find the seams that you saw before. You're just, like, shaking your head and looking at it.
Okay, cool. He's gonna fully stand up, and he's gonna be like, just fucking leave, and he's going to take a dart out, and he's gonna try to hit the girl with it, like just straight in the forehead.
Okay.
23.
Well, that hits, yes.
So it's a D4 plus 2D6. 9. Oh, wait. Sorry. Plus 5.
Dang.
14.
Dang, are you kidding?
No.
Jeez.
Because sneak attack a D4 for the dart, and then plus 5 to
You get sneak attack because
allies.
you have to be within 5 feet, right?
Nope.
You just have to be around allies?
So, if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of the enemy. So they are within 5 feet of the enemy.
Oh, I see. Well, that's fine. Cool.
Cool.
So go ham. 14. Okay, cool. So
14 with a freaking dart.
You nail this chick in the forehead with this dart. It like right past Lucien's ear.
Yeah.
Such that he like kind of jumps away like in surprise as it whistles past his ear, and you freaking nail her so hard in the forehead. It like buries itself in the like hard shell of her horns, like it, and you can see like it splits with them at the base, and it's sticking out there, and there's blood like dripping into her eye, and she's just and like steps back in pain and rage. Okie dokie.
Cool, that's his turn. Bonus action. Well, he didn't do movement, but I don't think he wants to.
It's her turn.
Okay.
So right now she, with this dart, and the first thing she's going to do is tear this thing out of her forehead, and there's just blood, like, dripping into her eye. And she's staring at Fingers. Lucien, who is, like, Fingers is, like, go mode. He was like that, and Lucien kind of handed him the potion to take, and he took it like a robot. Like, he just poured it into his head. And, Lucian is kind of weirdly looking at her and Fingers and kind of trying to keep tabs on you. He's got like one hand behind his back and it's just sticking out towards you.
Yeah.
Like there's like a connection between you two. You back there just nailed her with this dart, and then another voice that she hears from the door. And she's going to kind of keep walking back towards the back door. And she is far enough away that she doesn't need to disengage. And so she is going to dash and bonus action dash.
Okay.
So she turns around the corner and you do not see her anymore.
Okay.
Cool. You hear in the living room the sounds of something loudly hitting the floor. And just going, oh! And then a few seconds later, you hear, and just, now it's Fingers' turn.
Okay.
Fingers is going to tear off in her direction.
Okay. No.
I will say that Lucian, for his turn, since he's next, would give you the help action.
Okay.
I will say that I will give you one sentence to try and convince Fingers that this is... You see him... It's like you know he's going to do it before he knows he's going to do it. And as she turns the corner, you see him duck his head down and just like dig his toes into the ground and just start to take off. What do you say to him to get him to stop?
No, Fingers, I need you.
Gotta roll advantage persuasion.
17.
Ooh, look at you. He's gonna oppose it. He starts to run off in that direction, and you can see Lucian reaches out to grab him. And you see he reaches out to grab him with the arm that obviously the one that isn't behind his back, like reaching towards you. And you see he grabs him and then he lets go because it's his broken arm and he can't hold on to him. And as you say that, he takes 2 steps and you see him just freeze. Like freezing like someone cast a spell on him. Yeah. And he just freezes running in that direction, like one leg almost even up, and he waits a beat and then puts his leg down, turns back towards you, and when he turns towards you, you can see before, just like you did before, there's like these traces of red light forming these horns on his forehead, and his head is kind of like cocked to the side, and his eyes are bright green. They have no pupils. And he's just like, his head's cocked to the side and he's just staring at you.
Please don't go. I can only be so much of not a coward.
And as you say that, it's Lucian's turn. Lucian's gonna turn and put his hand on Fingers' shoulder, and when he does that, Fingers is gonna he's gonna kind of turn a little bit just so he's like very barely out of his peripheral vision. He can see Lucian, and he's kind of like splitting the difference, his like eyes line between you two, and just kind of tilts his head back a little bit, and Lucian's like, it's not worth it, mate. We've got other stuff to do. Come on. Let's find your mum. And Lucian is gonna hold on to him so that he doesn't keep walking. Yeah. And he's going to walk him in your direction. Yeah. And as he walks in that direction, because you move 15 feet there, Fingers is shaking it off a little bit, and he puts the palms of his hands in his eyes, and he's pushing them into his head. And now it's your turn.
Okay. So they're walking towards me.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's gonna be like, 1 second. And he's gonna kind of creep over to the doorway to look at who's in the fucking living room.
Okay, cool. So as you creep over...
Do you want me to roll stealth?
Sure, you can roll stealth.
22.
CV rolls lower than that. As you peek, like creep over, just so stealthy, not even making a noise. Even Fingers and Lucian, who were looking at you, can't hear you. And as you stick both hands in the door frame and peek around the corners to see what's going on, Fingers goes, as hail. And then you see him in a pile on the ground. And all you see really is he's like leaning up against the wall, just a black pile. Go ahead, roll perception.
Okay. 6.
That's all you see other than the lit end of a cigarette.
Good or bad?
What do you mean good or bad? And he's gonna keep like walking. He's like shaking his head. Lucian, he kind of like is trying to get Lucian to let go, like with his arms or whatever. And Lucian is like holding on super tight. And combat has ended, so there's no more turn order, and we don't need to worry about that.
Etheod knows that Hale is the assassin.
I think even if it wasn't said specifically, I think that information made it through the grate. You know, we don't show all the conversations that took place. So if Etheod was like, "Who the heck is the guy?" then they would have been like, "Oh, Hale's the one who," etc.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay.
So as you.
Is he coming with us?
I don't know. I don't think he's gonna make it.
What?
Frankly. And Fingers is like, the whole time he's talking, he's like walking towards you, rubbing his eyes and just trying to get Lucian. He's like yanking at Lucian's like grip on his shoulder. He's like super distracted. Will you get off? Sorry, mate.
I think Etheod stands in the doorway and he goes, "Are you coming with us?" To Hale.
You see Hale kind of turn his head towards you and open his mouth, and he just starts coughing. I've got more important things to deal with. That's Lucian, by the way. I've got more important things to deal with. We've got to find your mum, the kids. Get out of here. Fingers is gonna like, kind of like crouch down, and kind of turn, like, to make you guys small, because you guys know how many there are. Presumably Fingers does not, you know. And he's gonna like kind of crouch down. He's gonna say to Lucian, "You're not gonna help him? You will look."
We're not leaving you here.
I'll be fine.
I literally made the choice to not go.
I'll be fine.
I don't care.
That was when
we don't know if there's more.
I know, that's why we're not wasting any time. You two, Etheod, you stay with me, right? And then Fingers, you can go look. I don't think he'll be any help. Neither do I. You're right, mate. Yeah, I'm right. I'll be back. And he's gonna like stand up, and he's gonna like stay kind of crouching and kind of like sneak around the walls. Fingers is gonna kind of like still stealthing. I'll have a roll stealth actually. Beep. Fingers is gonna kind of like stay crouching and just like disappear. He'll say, I didn't see any indication they were there when I was there before. I don't think it'll take long. And he's gonna like just duck his head down and just disappear around the corner and freaking puff of smoke, like gone. And you and Lucian, he kind of like leaves you in the corner. Lucian is standing up and just staring at where he hears the voice coming from in the other room. And what is your posture?
I think that Etheod's kind of like, he's still standing very straight because he's still kind of like on alert. I think that he's kind of slowly following behind Lucian.
Lucian isn't moving.
Oh, okay. Then he's just kind of standing there looking at the guy and then kind of looking at Lucian. Is it the guy who tried to kill Dylan? And Tav?
What'd you say?
I think he's gonna like kind of say loudly to the other guy, "How bad off are you?"
And you hear him go, "Don't worry about me. Nice to see you, Lou."
What?
And that's pretty. Tavamil remembers the time that she offered that as a nickname to Lucien. I noticed that I started calling you Tav.
Sometimes you say Tavi.
I didn't realise. I'm sorry. I think it's just because it's long and it's...
Are you sorry?
I don't know. I didn't ask you if it was alright.
Do you have to ask me if it's alright?
Well, I guess in my experience, no, but...
Well, it's called a nickname, right?
Yeah.
It's like, from what I know, if you give somebody a nickname, it's 'cause they like you. It's like a friend and stuff.
I would hope so. But you might not like it.
I like it.
Well, good.
Maybe I should give you a nickname.
I think I've had enough.
What do you mean?
I've had quite a few nicknames.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Like what?
Just a few.
Well, maybe I could give you another one. Although I really like your name, Lucien.
You're the only one.
That's not true. I know my mum likes your name. We've talked about it before.
Have you?
Yes. It's a nice name.
I think that's fine.
Lucien. Shin. Isn't that a part of the body? Shin.
What, shin? I don't think that would...
Maybe calf.
Calf. That's a bit...
Ankle. What about Lou?
Lou. I think Lucian's fine.
I think so too. I don't like Lou. I don't like shin or calf or ankle.
Well, I mean, Tavamil, of course. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Tavamil. It's just... I just noticed it. I started doing it so absentmindedly.
Well, I don't think it means that you don't like my name.
Just...
I think it means that you do like it because you think of ways to say it differently.
Does that mean I like it?
Or you're thinking about it. If you didn't like my name, you wouldn't think about
I
it.
think maybe I don't like it so much that I'm trying to make it take less time to say.
Really?
I'm just a joke, Tav.
I like how Lucien sounds. Lucien. Lucien.
It's Tavamil's. You know, Tav.
Tavamil.
Tav.
I like how when you say my full name too, because I like how you say the L in my name.
Tav. Tavamil. Tavamil Fenra.
That's me.
Tavamil. Earth to Tavamil.
What?
Tavamil. Tavamil. Hello.
Hello. What?
Since it just asked you a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine, darling. You're not paying attention after all.
No, I wasn't.
Well, forget about it.
What was the question?
No, you know, if you're not paying attention to the
Oh, I'm
story, it won't
sorry.
make
What
any
was the
sense.
question?
What are you thinking about anyway?
Lucien. Yeah, oh, well, I mean, look, I think that's understood. Just ask her the question again.
You know, she doesn't know the content. It's fine. I'll forget about it.
Getting all
All
pouty.
is well. Well, you know, I'm trying to entertain you folks since you're in my carriage. And,
Well, you're entertaining the rest of us.
well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear it. Anyway, and you like you fall into a like, you know, whatever silence, and
Yeah.
you know, sentence like yes, well, you know, yes.
I think that if he's kind of like kind of trying not to laugh because I think that she's just like, man, he's such a baby, like, thinking that to herself.
There's like a silence, you know. It was like a thing that brought the story or whatever to a screeching halt, and then sent it's like, I like the momentum it was destroyed, and now I'll tell it again later.
Well, I've got a story, and then I think that if he says that, she's like, would y'all like to hear? Yes, but in a second. What? What?
The likelihood that she's going to pay attention anyway is slim to none.
Well,
so she's busy daydreaming about her boyfriend.
He is my boyfriend. Good on you. I guess, I don't know. I mean,
We've
I
all
could tell her.
boyfriends.
What's with that spiciness there?
What?
What?
Maybe I want a boyfriend. Just a female boyfriend.
Oh, a female boyfriend.
Yeah,
All right. You know,
some
you
call
don't
them
swing that way.
girlfriends.
You want a girlfriend? What pick and
It's
see?
fine.
Oh.
Are you available?
Oh,
I'm joking. Of course. And he rolls his eyes.
of course. What?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, you know. You wouldn't want to date a grizzled war veteran, huh?
What, Synthid? Synthid's
Yeah,
like,
Sandy, you make a good boyfriend.
I'm unfortunately, well, fortunately for me, but not for you, I'm quite attached.
Oh, you married?
And he's gonna hold up his, like, wedding ring.
Oh, would you look at that?
20 years this summer.
God damn. Hey,
I bet some of you are less than that in age.
did y'all get married before you went to war?
Oh, we did.
Interesting.
Not smart to wait till after, is it? Roll a perception check is iffy.
Yeah.
Not a straight roll. This does not use your senses. It uses your heart.
18.
You, when he says that, you move your foot and feel in your shoe Flavian's letter
Yep.
that you had.
Oh, man.
Somehow it's made it into shoe after shoe after shoe after shoe.
Yeah.
Well, it's rather handy that the castle is so nearby to Waypoint Town. I'm surprised it's so close to the border.
Yezi. I think that Yezi kind of like is surprised that she's addressed, and also she was like, Thalen was just talking.
Yeah, you hear something go, well, you know, it didn't used to be, and then you interrupt him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that Yezi has like her head kind of leaning back on the carriage, and I think she kind of like her face twitches a little bit in surprise, and she doesn't move her head to look at Tavamil. She just kind of moves her eyes and like raises her eyebrows. And I think Tavamil's like, I wanted to say thank you. So, thank you. What for? Oh, well, you seem to love fingers a lot. And I've learned that it can be really hard to let someone you love go somewhere when you can't go with them. And, well, you could have gone with him, I think, but you decided to stay here. And I really appreciate that because I think that you're really smart and that you know a lot more than me. And like Iffy said, you could do stuff that none of us can. So I'm really glad that you're here because I think that you help a lot. And, well, it doesn't seem like you like us very much. So you staying was probably an even harder decision. I think she kind of like dips her head down and like blows out a dry laugh at the you don't seem to like us very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is not that I am not with him that bothers me. It is that there is a high likelihood that something might happen to him. And I am here, with no ability to stop it or know it is even happening. I understand what that feels like. I think Yezi kind of finally looks at Tavamil. I don't really know if my mum is alright. And I didn't actually see her when I was at the tower, but I'm hoping that the two dwarf knights are right. But it's been a while. She might not be there anymore. And she might not be okay. And I know where Lucien is, but I also kind of don't, because people move around all the time, and I don't know if he's going to be alright either. I think Yezi kind of looks down and is like ashamed of herself almost. Like she didn't even think to consider that Tavamil might understand at all. Like she didn't give her any credit. And Tav goes, but I have to believe that they're alright, because then they will be. If I don't believe it, then I'll give up without realising it. Like, if I don't believe a crop will survive because something happens to it, like it gets infested by rock grubs or something, I'll stop taking care of it, and then it will for sure die. But if I believe it'll be alright, I'll keep taking care of it, and usually the crop becomes happy again. Also, my mum would say that I'd just be putting myself to misery twice. I'm not sure that applies to this situation. What do you mean, misery twice? My mum would tell me any time I was worried about something, or if I kept thinking about all the bad things that could happen before anything did happen, I would either be sad for no reason or sad twice. Like, if nothing bad happens, then I worried for no reason. And if something bad does happen, then I was sad for twice as long. And I know that the people I love want me to feel happy and good. And so I want to try to feel that way for them as much as possible. Also, if I'm thinking about all the bad stuff, just to make my head feel distracted and cloudy. Well, I think that's easier said than done. You're right. I think everything is easy to talk about but harder to do. Like, not getting lost is hard, but it's easy to talk about. I think Iffy kind of... Okay.
Yeah, Thalen's like, right.
I think, though, the hardest part of this is missing them. Like, I know for me, I wish I could be with them right now. Having my mum's breakfast and talking. That's been really, really hard. Because also, when I left for town, I didn't get to see my mum at all. She was asleep, so I didn't get to say goodbye. But something that helps me when I miss the people I love is to look around me. Like, I'll see the moon, even during the daytime, which I think is really cool. Or the sun, or the clouds and stars. Or I'll even take a big breath of air. I know that somewhere, the people I love are breathing the same air, or seeing the same things I am. And so, even though I'm not with them, like right now, I'm still close to them because we get to share the same world. And that's lovely. And thinking about that helps me feel calm. I think that Yezi kind of looks down in a way, and I think that she tries to covertly take a deep breath of air. I'm gonna roll kind of, I don't know, deception, I guess,
okay,
for her to hide that.
Mm-hmm.
I want Iffy to roll perception for it.
Okay.
Unnatural 20 for Iffy.
Mm-hmm.
8 for deception on Yezi.
Right.
I think if he sees that, she kind of smiles real big and she's like, well, Tavmil, I think that's some mighty fine advice. I also think this is a good conclusion to any weirdness we got going on. So, once we're there, we're really going to have to focus up. So, I mean, I'm good. I know I'm good. Seems like Tavmil's good. And Tavmil kind of sits up a little straighter and, like, does a little, like, head nod.
Mm-hmm.
Phelan, you alright?
Yes.
You sure?
What is this? Look away. He, like, wipes at his eye with the back of his hand.
You gonna be alright, Yezi? I'm alright. Sent it how much longer, do you know?
Real quick, for Tavmil, roll perception.
Okay. 14.
When you, in the pause right before Yezi asked that question, when Iffy was like, well, I think that settles that and whatever, you hear Senta go, that's my Carol. And then Yezi says,
Sent it how much longer, do you know?
oh, I don't know, what did I say, 5 hours? About, 15 minutes ago? You do the math there, Yezi.
I wasn't listening.
Well, I'd say that's fair.
You talk a lot.
Oh, I do, yes, that's true. Yes, I've got
I
to
talk
admit.
a lot too.
Yeah, I guess it, ooh, nope, not going to say that. Anyway.
What was it that you were gonna say?
I was going to say maybe it's a cultural thing, and then I thought maybe, no, I felt bad about it because...
Oh, man!
I mean, you talk quite a lot as well, but you're half human.
I mean, Lucien doesn't talk quite a lot. He's one of them. One of us.
Oh, actually, yes, I wanted to say... Okay, so since we've... What?
What is going on with you?
I wanted to say... I think that we should use this time strategically. I think we've spent a lot of it being pissed off at each other.
Yeah.
And listening to extremely interesting stories from our good friend Cynthia, who's been so kind to lend us his time.
I can give you some more stories too.
Actually, I'm good. I think that we should use this time strategically. Speaking of Lucien, I wanted to ask. Well, we talked about we were talking about Timber Talenti and his sort of personality and stuff like that. Do you have no insight as to how he will react to this situation? I mean, clearly he knows Tavmil is coming. He sent the summons. Do you think that there's a chance that... Well, I know that the guards were looking for Lucien. The Talenti guards, that's what we were talking about.
Well, if they think that he lit up a farm on
right,
there.
so what I'm saying is... Word, I imagine, would have made it to, it's not far to Timber Talenti that such a thing has taken place, so there's a chance that, frankly, I've never met the guy myself, the traitorous bastard that he is, but...
Wait, what?
Oh, do you not feel that way? Well, I mean, is it
Why
really...
do you feel that way?
Because you roll the insight check.
Alright.
Roll a history check.
I forgot that Everson gets a plus 12 to history.
Wowzers, trousers.
15.
Good. Oh, wow. Salvage that piece of trash roll.
I'm a bit smart.
You remember you talking to Lucien, and you remember him saying, we wanted to win.
Oh, is it because he signed the treaty?
Naturally. Do you not feel that way? Well, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I don't think that way at all. I just know that that's, it should come and...
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a bit glad that he did that.
Look, unpopular opinion, but
I know
as
it
am
is.
I.
But I don't know if you were Well, never mind. Anyways, go on.
Right. Well, I'll say that I'm not sure how he'll react to the news that... there's potential involvement with the clan with whom we signed the treaty.
Yeah, well,
if you're picking up what I'm putting down there, my friend, and he's leveling something at Thalen, who is sort of like cracking a smile slightly.
I do have to say, we got a bit of a working theory that he kind of wanted the farm to be found. Maybe he wanted to start something.
Tenbertalenthi.
I mean, she kind of turns to Tavamil. He's the one that told you that you had to do all that, yeah? Mm-hmm. He was who I saw last time. And, well, something like that all out in the open. Matter of time before it got found.
There's no way that it could have been hidden. It was so close to the border as well. So, I guess who's takes the first pot shot? Is it us or him? Maybe it was inevitable.
Maybe. I'm kind of interested. I knew he was part of the war. Like, I knew that he had his hands in it, but I didn't realize he was a commanding officer. I'm surprised that...
Yes, I as well. Well, his father wanted him to get military experience. He was going to run the country. I mean, he was quite young.
Well, yeah, but sending him into... What if he died? I mean, my commanding officer, Vatil, he was in the fray with us, and I had to... I mean, I died one time. I mean, I didn't die, but, pulling him out of something, so...
Well, I can't speak to his military, his tactics or anything. I mean, clearly he survived.
Well, yeah. I mean, does he have any brothers or anything like that?
Ooh, Tinra Talenthi. No, it's just him.
Why does it matter? What do you mean, why does it matter? Well, if he died, then they could just have somebody else take over it.
Well, no, you see, it's sort of typically the son of the king.
Why can't it be somebody else?
It's just sort of not done that way.
Well, if somebody else took over, we wouldn't be the Talenthi clan.
Right, it's the last name of the family, so...
I didn't ever think about how they're the same.
Farming and digging holes and planting seeds, she's quite good at. You ask her a question about plants or animals and she's your gal.
You're right.
I just want to say that. Anyway, so, no, he's not got a brother, it's just him. But, a lad gets some experience. I mean, he was an officer. He was an officer and a captain. So... sort of to others, an officer's officer. So he wasn't, started. He didn't work his way up from enlisted or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So my point is, he wasn't, in the fray, all of the time. He wouldn't be. So.
So he was kind of treated special.
Well, I mean, one would imagine, would not one? But I will say that Lucien, didn't. I don't know.
Well, he seemed to like him during the war.
Right, he's talked quite fondly of him, prior to. So couldn't have been that standoffish, I'd imagine.
Tavamil, do you know why he doesn't like him now? Could Tavamil roll history to see if she knows anything? 12.
You know that Senthet knows.
I don't know, but I know that Senthet knows.
Well, you see, I don't know for sure, but I've got a few theories, that's all.
And what are they?
I don't think it's my place to say. I don't think it's relevant at all, so... I'll be letting you ask him about it and he'll tell you if he wants to.
That's really surprising of you. I'm proud of you, Senthet.
Right. Well, this is juvenile, I know, but if we guess it... you don't know if it's relevant or not. Truly. What? You don't know if it's relevant or not.
Are we just going to guess every reason there is to hate somebody? What are we going to do?
No, I just mean... I don't know.
Well, I know that he doesn't like his wife, either.
Oh, he doesn't like the queen?
Timbertlenty's wife. That
Right.
would be the queen, so
The queen. Well, anyway, the point is, it's sort of personal.
A personal reason.
Well,
why.
sort of not. Anyway, it's not relevant, is the point.
Are
Is it
you
because-
certain it's not relevant? Because I do have to say, Cynthia, not to be disrespectful or anything like that, you don't really know anything that is going on. We haven't really told you. You just know that we're going there, that a house was burned down, and that the Wethway people are looking for Lucien.
Let's just say we were talking earlier about Timbertlenty being a traitor, right?
Right.
Let's just say that Lucien very strongly believes that that's true.
Now, my next question is he aware of this?
Who? Timbertlenty?
Yeah.
Well, that I don't know.
All right. I don't know if he ever told him or something.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not privy to that piece of information. But I will say, I don't think that he would have been helpful to you.
Well, then it's a good thing that he is not here. It is just... Well, I think that Yezi kind of looks at Thalen. She's like, hopefully you are not a detriment either.
Who, me? What? A detriment?
Part of the clan that...
Oh, do you suspect me?
That is not what I said at all.
Well, I feel it's as though it's what you implied. Part of the clan that what? What do you think? I've got some sort of...
Alright, listen, we just got over some weirdness. Let's calm down a bit, take a deep breath. I think that Yezi's like, don't put words in my mouth. What I mean is him trusting you and allowing you to be there. If he knows that all of this is happening with the Wethway people. I know that you can't do anything to this scale, so don't be concerned.
I apologize.
Good. Izzy is supposed to say, I forgive you. I think Yazzie kind of looks at Tab and she's like, I said good. That's a lot more than you would have gotten out of me before. All right.
Why did Lucien transfer to your unit? You said you were only in the same unit at the tail end of the war.
I'm kind of curious about that too.
Is it really he only believes that he's a traitor because he signed the treaty? Well, you see, son. That's sort of the part that I'd have you ask him yourself.
What?
He thinks that he's a traitor,
Yeah.
but that reason, I'd say, is, or that the answer to that question, I would say that you need to ask him for.
Well, I do have to say, we're just about to see that. I mean, listen, make whatever choice you want. If you don't want to tell us, that's fine, but we're going to keep bugging you about it because, we kind of want to know. We're about to see this guy, and we're about to, what?
Do you remember that winter? That winter.
Just go roll history.
All right.
Can I roll with advantage? Since she,
Yeah.
25.
Freaking jeez. The carriage is gone. No. There is no carriage. It is just black, dark blue sky. that is streaked with white as wind whips through the air. It's snowflake after snowflake piling on top of itself, in your vision, turns it into like a hazy, foggy, freezing, ice cold mist around you. And there's trees, they've fallen, dead wood on the ground. It's completely surrounding you. And there's no leaves, nothing green anywhere. Just snow and ice. And you are sitting in a hole dug into the snow and the ice, and you can feel around you the freezing cold ground that's crunching under your body as you sit and crouch and work of this like permafrost-like layer of frozen earth. And you see in front of you, illuminated by only the light of the moon bouncing off the snow and illuminating the snow in the air, a pair of hands in front of you that are orange and purple and blue and black at the fingertips and mottled. And you bring your head away, having just kind of blown your hot breath into them, and you bring your head away from them, and go ahead and roll a luck check.
18.
You just have a tiny bit more of, in your, something that you've been kind of keeping on you this whole time, a health potion. As you like pull the gloves off of these hands and you see the extent of the frostbite, you pull out of your pocket the last drops of a healing potion. And what do you say as you hand them to Vitil?
You're gonna need these. Gotta be a bit more careful with them.
I don't need that, Balmy.
I don't care what you think.
It's just my fingertips.
Yeah. Starts there and then it travels down.
We'll wait until then, won't we?
No. I'm sorry. I don't care what you think. I know that I'll get an earful for this later, but I don't care. You're gonna take this.
Balmy, please.
Tell.
There are others out there.
I'm aware. This would not do anything for them. This is barely anything.
He's gonna like look down in a way at you saying that, and you can see on his face, like as he turns his head, just the very tips of his ears are starting to turn black as
She's
well.
gonna like reach up and touch his ears and kind of like put her hand around one of them to like warm it up. Take it.
Balmy, I'm fine. Really. Save it. He's gonna like put his hands kind of like, he's gonna like pull his arms away from you. He can't move his hands at all. He's just kind of dragging them backwards, and he puts one like slowly into his like underneath his arm to like warm it up.
All right. She's gonna force the potion on him. Like, he can't move his hands really to fight back that much.
So are you gonna like, you're just gonna like force his mouth open to take it?
Is it a healing potion that he would have to drink, or is it one of the combat ones that you could just...
You could pour it on him,
okay,
if you wanted to.
she'll be like, you can get me control for this later, and she like uncorks it and just like pours it on his like hand that she still has.
And as he like kind of flinches it away, but you're kind of holding on to it, and the pressure of pulling his hand away is painful to him, and he just like leaves it there. You can see that as you pour it on his skin, the like black parts start being replaced with like warm orange flesh in like where they were before.
I think that she gets some of it like on her fingers and like rubs them on his like ears and stuff, like trying to get every bit.
Go ahead and roll a performance check.
13.
As you do that, he feels against his head your hands. Good. Sorry, did I tell you to roll it with disadvantage?
No.
Roll it with disadvantage. Sorry, my bad.
5.
Okay. He can feel your hand just like shaking like crazy, like as you try and like before his hands were in your hands, he could feel them shaking. But the moment you try any sort of manual dexterity, like taking the cork off the potion was just a grab and pull. You're trying to like do this. He can feel the unnatural way that your fingers are moving, and it's painful to him. As even though as you rub at the tips of the ears, the blackness goes away. He's like, Balmy.
Sorry.
And he's gonna like raise his hand up in front of his face, and he can move all of his fingers. And you can see when he does that, he kind of like shuts his eyes a little bit and kind of appreciates the feeling. I'll get you for this later. You mark my words.
Yeah, I expect.
Have you got anything else left?
Do I?
What was your luck check? 18?
Yeah.
Go ahead, roll me one more luck check.
All right. 19.
Girl, crazy. You have whatever you say next to me. You have one really cool thing, and then a bunch of like flavor,
Okay.
and like bandages and stuff like that. Pick a cool thing to have.
Just revivify. I'm
Oh
looking at her spell,
snap!
yeah.
Oh snap! What have you got?
Well, she like opens up her bag, and I feel like it's like taking her a while because she like can't really move her hands that well. You know, bandages. Oh. Not much.
Roll a disadvantage performance check.
7.
What have you got, Bamry? Not much.
Yeah, not much.
Show me.
She like looks down and kind of slides her bag over to him.
Ah.
Ironic, isn't it?
Which one are you gonna pick?
What you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? How many have we lost? You're the arbiter of their fate. Who lives, Bamry? You saving it for a rainy day? Certainly not a snowy day. That special someone.
No.
Why haven't you used it?
I can't bring myself to.
What do you mean, Bamry? Do you know how many countless people I know you do have used theirs on you?
Yeah, I know.
What are you saving it for?
You've never had one be used on you, have you?
I tend to stay out of trouble.
Yeah. How many times has it been now? 10? 10?
What times of what?
10 times. Everyone says that I died.
Right.
And
And you're here.
I didn't die.
And my hand is better because of you.
I can't die. I can't die.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
You're here. And you have the power to save somebody else.
I don't know if it's good.
Bomri, he's gonna grab your hands with his, like, one hand. And when he does it, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage.
4.
When he does that, because he kind of like grabs at your hand roughly, trying to get something across you, it hurts. You all right, Bomri?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Sorry.
Take your gloves off.
She like pauses and then slowly takes them off.
It is excruciatingly. It's so painful to you. Your fingertips are completely black. And there's parts of your skin that are so red and raw, like rubbing in your gloves. You're like completely like locked up, frozen hands. They look at least worse than his did. What's this?
No, would you look at that? Yeah, you're a bit more, you're a bit more sensitive to it than I am.
Sensitive.
I'm only half.
I guess. But you are still half. I've seen you traipsing from person to person all night. He's gonna kind of take both of your hands, because they're kind of like open in front of him, and he is going to very like gently take both of your hands in his one hand. And he's kind of like, he's a big guy. He's got big hands. And now that this one is healed, it's warm. And it almost kind of burns.
I'm just being a baby. It's fine.
When did you sleep last, Bomri?
I don't know. I'm fine. There's more people that I gotta do stuff to.
You need to sleep, Bomri. You're not the only medic. Let them pull their weight.
Yeah, I'm the only one that doesn't die, though.
They get replaced. I know the new guys aren't as skilled as you, but they've got to prove themselves, like you have. And he's gonna start slowly kind of sliding your gloves back on. Not so sensitive, she says.
Like, give me a break while I'm like a woman or something.
How are you? I've forgotten. You're gonna stay here.
I'm fine. Really, I'm fine.
Everson Bomri. It's a human name. Everson.
I got some relative middle name. Want to hear it?
Sure.
Devere. What's your name? I only know for two.
It's an Orcish first name.
Really?
Maybe I'll tell you sometime.
I don't get to know now. It would be my dying thoughts.
Oh, you won't die, Palmery. Lie down. I've got some food still.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Stop disobeying my orders. Lie down. 8. Go to sleep. And the last one. Hand me that.
Is he talking about the revivify?
Mm-hmm. He looks at it.
She like very slowly picks it up and gives it to him.
If you can't do it, I will.
She lies down.
He's like getting ready to go out.
Mm.
And he puts on his helmet. And he's gonna he's like very slowly stands up as his body has to thaw to be able to complete the motion. He's just like, oh. I'll be back, Palmery.
Mm-hmm.
And you best be asleep when I return. Or I'll take one of those stars off your lapel. He's gonna walk off into the snow.
I think that Iverson is like staring at the sky and at the snow and all of it, and I think that she like lays her hands down flat on the ground. It's like, and I think that she digs her like fingers into the ground, and she's like grinding her teeth, being like,
the conversation kind of drifts past you. It's sort of like it's finishes and then it starts, and you just got back in there with him, and you just take his gloves off, and he starts again, and he says something else this time. This time, he talks to you, and he says, Palmery, I was so worried about you.
why?
And he puts his hand on your cheek. And then you blink that thought away. That couldn't have happened. There's no way that happened. And starts again. And he stands up to get out of the foxhole. And you hear, and an arrow explodes into his neck.
Fatil!
And you hear snippets of just cacophonous conversation that you don't know what part happened, what didn't happen. All of your conversations with him throughout the entire war. You know, you in the foxhole, him saying, the prince has a winter eladrin for a medic. I bet his hands aren't shaking so much, Bumry. Him saying, all we've got to do is dig in and we'll be able to make it through. You know, the high elves are getting hit as hard as we are by this. You know, it's just pieces of conversation kind of melding together in your head, and you sort through them looking for what most probably happened. And as you call out, you're back in the carriage. Right, so...
Yeah, I remember the winter. What about it?
I understand why maybe it's personal.
What?
Tavmil and Yezi, basically what you saw was Senthet ask Iffy that question, and her kind of sit back and her eyes just glaze over.
Mm-hmm.
And you were kind of talking to her and she was kind of talking back to you. Iffy was sort of giving like non-committal answers, and sent that basically said, right, so you'd understand why maybe it's personal, think something of that nature. And everyone else was sort of just watching you remember, or watching you experience something, and listening to scent that, and the conversation had moved topics, and then all of a sudden you had called out, and everybody's eyes were on you again.
What y'all staring at me for? Efferson, are you?
You all right?
Fine, yeah. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm fine. What are you talking about? This is this, like, second time that you've done this. Done what?
I don't know that this is good for you.
What are you talking about?
I mean, every time the war has been mentioned with any substance, it seems like you...
Seems like I would.
Go somewhere. What were you thinking about?
Thinking about that winter. I don't know. Listen, I'm fine. I'm 100% alright. 110% alright. I don't think that's true. Frankly, I don't care what y'all think. I'm fine, and I know I'm fine, and I would say that I have the better judgment of that than most of y'all.
Well, I'll confirm. Are you going to press the issue after all? Do you understand?
No, I'm not going to press the issue.
Right.
Right. I am going to press something else, though. Earlier, I asked you if you knew Etheod, and you said you did. And I asked if you knew what happened to him. You asked me if I wanted an answer, like you knew something, and then you said you weren't sure.
Well, I'm not sure, so I don't want to...
Okay, well, what do you know? What's the rumor?
Is this really relevant at the moment? I mean, we've got...
Yeah, it's important to me. Don't know anyone else who might know.
All right. Well, it's not like I've seen it myself or something, but he got hurt. That's all I know.
Is he alive?
I've heard that he is, but I know that he got hurt.
How so? See, you're acting like you know stuff that you ain't want to tell me.
It's not that I know and I'm withholding information, Everson. It's that I'm not sure and I don't want you to get your hopes up.
Well, I ain't gonna get my hopes up.
All right. I've heard that he got injured such that it immediately took him out of the war. And I thought that he had died until recently. Someone mentioned something about hearing from him. That's all I know. I don't know areas. I don't know how.
Why would they hear from him? What connection did they have?
They were both officers in the war. They knew each other from that. So, I mean,
You don't know how he got hurt?
All I know is that he got hurt. I mean, he got hurt in the war, in a battle. I don't know. You mean what happened to him? Is that what you mean? No, I don't know.
All right.
I know that he got hurt, and my friend thought he'd died, and heard from him recently, or at least someone claiming to be him.
What'd they hear from him? Did they tell you?
No. Just that they had.
Well, thank you for that information.
When it's over, all of this, maybe I'll introduce you to, and you can compare notes or something.
I'd appreciate that. Why do you want to find him? I don't know. I mean, commanding officer. Did a lot. Was in his platoon for a while. About 8 years in his platoon.
Well, I can see why he would be important too.
Yeah. I think she kind of looks down and she's like, well, anyways, I appreciate that, Sam. Thank you for telling me that information. I'd say we got a lot of ways to go on this carriage ride. We can make it a bit more interesting. Instead of talking about why Lucien doesn't like somebody skirting around the subject that we're not going to hear anything about. So, how about you, Thalen? You got any fun stories?
Fun, I don't know. Well, you see, I don't know if you all would find it fun.
Let's find out, shall we?
I suppose. Have you ever done cocaine before?
Holy.
And the camera is going to... Tim the Toolman Taylor noises of Thalen's sudden cocaine words fill the carriage. Somewhere far away, something a lot less that is going on.
Goodness.
As Lucien and Etheod stand in the doorway of Meredith's house, the doorway from the kitchen to the living room.
Right.
The living room that Etheod knows as the living room that he spent the first night in only days ago. The front door is partially open, just like lazily left open. There is nary a meow. And the front window is completely smashed in. And the light is facing, because the house sits sandwiched between two much larger houses, like apartment-style buildings. The only light comes in through the door, and the front window is kind of like passing. It passes in front of it. Basically, the house is dark. Candles and, oil lamps that had been blown out for darkness, cover. And so you stand in the doorway to this living room. Where were you, behind Lucien?
Yeah.
Is that correct? As he just stands there, kind of staring. His head is straight forward as Hale addresses him for the first time.
What?
Lucien is gonna walk towards him, and kind of there are the body of the one that almost tried to kill you. Mm-hmm. He steps over as he walks in that direction, and as you kind of watch him walk away from you, you see the areas of his body where he was stabbed or cut, and you see, just like you did the other day, kind of like a dark blue blood, like it's like a reddish blue, like the color of unoxygenated blood. So like a dark maroon, kind of slowly oozing out of them and dying fingers shirt that he's wearing. And he kind of staggers a little bit as he walks towards Hale.
Lucien, are you alright?
He's not really paying any attention to you at all.
Etheod's gonna walk forward too.
As Lucien walks, he kind of gains more focus. Like at first it was very robotic, and then he gains kind of like awareness of himself, and you see him kind of like pat around for his bag, from which he was taking out, potions and stuff like that. And as you approach Hale lying on the ground, and he comes closer into view, you have some kind of super cool dark vision or something like that.
Yeah, I have superior dark vision.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Then you can see more clearly in his black Assassin's Guild uniform that's slick with the same colored blood as Lucien. And the areas that have been burnt away or whatever of his uniform, and underneath is just like torn flesh. And he looks, although this is clearly this has to be uncomfortable. He's just lying there smoking a cigarette, kind of like half-lidded eyes looking up in Lucian's direction, like just like Lucian's eyes, the same exact piercing kind of like aqua blue eyes that are so bright to you because the ability to see in the dark. And you can see his kind of fingers twitching as he pulls the cigarette away from his mouth. Apologize for the delay. I was playing knife block for a Lackmar assassin.
What?
Signing my bloody death certificate. It took me a while to get here. He kind of like barks out a cough. And you see Lucien kind of crouched down next to him. And he's not looking at his face. He's looking at kind of like his body and kind of like groping, like touching him. You can see that he's trying to get information, triage style.
Yeah.
And he says, "Save your strength," and starts like taking off pieces of his uniform. And
yes, he's
pretty smart, that kid.
I don't fucking know.
He like sputters out a laugh, and Lucien is like taking, like, opening up his jacket, and he's like, there was a sorcerer outside, quite strong, so funny looking. When I killed her, she started changing, turning like a dark purple. There were two outside. I killed. If you got full, then we got all I saw. And you can see Lucien like open up his bag, and Hale is gonna grab his sleeve and say, "Don't waste any of that on me." And Lucian's gonna like stop in his tracks, and you hear behind you fingers say, "They're not here. I don't know where they are."
You said you don't know where they are?
I don't know where they are. They're not here. They're probably downstairs.
Okay.
And he's gonna kind of like look at you, Etheod, and look back at the trapdoor. And he's looking at. He's just kind of like standing there, like whatever, as Lucien kind of like freezes in front of him. He's like, "Lucien, come on. I don't.
But he's up in Gezi. He's he said some. You said that there were lock my people that were
Not anymore.
good.
At least for now. And Lucien reaches back into his bag as he sees his dad kind of like flinch.
Mm-hmm.
And Hale's gonna grab his sleeve kind of harder and say, "You listen to me, son."
What? I think Etheod kind of like shuffles back a little bit.
He says, "Do you think I'm just gonna let you die?" And Hale says, "You wouldn't do me that kindness, Lou." And Lucian's gonna kind of like put his hands on his thighs and just say, "If that's what you want." She's. You think she's downstairs? Lucien like turns and looks over his shoulder at Fingers. He's like, "Yeah, we gotta go, man. Come on. You're going ahead. We'll be right there." All right, come on, Etheod. Fingers is gonna grab your wrist and kind of like pull you in that direction.
I think Etheod's kind of like staring at Lucien, but he's letting Fingers take him.
Mm-hmm. You just see Lucien kind of like he's sitting there kind of like frozen. He's just like staring kind of like at his center mass of Hale. And you can see Hale's mouth moving and him cough. And he puts his hand up to kind of like muffle the cough, and Lucien puts his hand on his shoulder. And that's all you see is you kind of like make it around the corner as they talk quietly to each other. Fingers is gonna pull you around there, and he's gonna sit down on the ground, and take off his shoe. He just takes it out and just starts shaking it, and clink, a key falls out. I won't lose it, will I? And he like takes it and puts it in. There's like a kind of like in the knot hole of the wood in the ground. There's like a hole under that's kind of covering, and so he sinks the key into it, and it goes a little bit farther than it looks like it should. And he turns the lock, and he's gonna open the door. Mm-hmm. He pulls it up, and there's like a little bit of a creak. And you roll a perception check.
11.
He does that, and Fingers looks up at you, and he says, "They're here."
Okay.
And he takes clearly he has hurt them. Mm-hmm. And he's gonna like kind of like pat his body and then hold the door open a little bit, and can you hold this? And he's gonna stick both of his hands into the crack in the door and into the into the basement. And all you see is like stick both of his hands, and the door is basically like open just enough so that his hands can go through. Mm-hmm. And you hear him go, "Come on, guys." And what are you doing? And he's like, "Just wait." Okay. And all of a sudden you hear him go, oh, and he gets yanked down towards the door, and you see the door kind of scrape up his arm, like scraping into like a cut that's on his arm. He's like, open it. And as he opens it, Fingers falls head first down the stairs.
What?
And just as he is like beyond your grasp, he grabs his fingers around your collar and pulls you down after him. Are you gonna resist at all?
He's gonna try to not go head first down. Is that what, athletics?
Yeah, athletics will do that.
13.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think you kind of yank yourself back, but Fingers his grip is iron. Like he's not taking no for an answer. And as you kind of lean back, instead of going head first, you kind of like sit down and you like boom 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 like down the stairs on your butt.
No, fuck fingers.
And you just hear a voice go, "Oh my gosh, I was so worried about you." Mom, it's okay. And you see in the darkness that she has pulled you guys down the stairs, and Fingers is sitting at their stairs are not super, there's a lot of them. He's sitting at the bottom, like legs splayed out, with her like touching every part of his like face and shoulders. And as you go down the stairs, she like grabs hold of you, and the door shuts back, kind of like where it was. And she's just like, "Oh my gosh, Etheod, I can't believe you two are here. What happened?" And she's like touching your like cheek, like wiping somebody else's blood off your cheek.
Pulls his head back.
"I'm sorry, kiddo."
It's fine.
"Oh, I was so worried about you guys." And Fingers is gonna like stand up and like hug her.
Why did?
"It's okay, kids. It's just me and Etheod. It's all right."
Did you know what was happening?
"What?" And she's like, the kids are like in the corner, freaking huddled, like in the dark. The only reason you can see them is because you're a tiefling. And she's like gonna she like reaches up, like make sure the door is shut, and she's gonna grab you two and like pull you away from it. And what was your question that you asked?
Did you know that something was happening?
I heard the glass breaking, and we were all in the kitchen, so I had the kids go in, just in case, you know, everything that's been going on, and I heard voices, you know, and I wanted to go back out and find you and I guess he's gone, huh?
No. He's fine. He's
What are you talking about? Where is he?
upstairs talking to his dad. I don't know.
Well, I guess you guys did a good job, huh? Keeping yourself safe and
About that. I'm going to go. I'm gonna leave.
What are you talking about? She's like gonna kind of like take a step towards you.
I'm gonna find somewhere else to be.
What do you mean, man? Fingers stands up and is standing between you and the door.
They were all here for me. I don't know why. But I'm not here. They will not come here. They will leave you alone, and
No. That's not happening. That's not happening. And Fingers is like looking at you and looking at his mom and looking back at you and like,
if
I don't know.
If I'm not here, if I'm not here, then you will be fine, and no one will get hurt because they'll leave you alone. They just want me. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why they want me. They said something about my parents.
You hear in the corner, like, gentle crying, just like soft crying, in one of the, probably Sana or Leela saying, "It's okay, it's gonna be okay." And Meredith says, "You don't know that. You don't know that they'll leave us alone. Do you?"
Why would they bother you if I'm not here?
Guess we're the only lead. This is where you were hiding out, huh? think it's too late for all that. We'll just make it work.
Oh.
I don't know yet, kiddo. But we'll figure something out. I think maybe one of you should go yank a Lucien in here if he's...
Yeah, I'll go.
No, you're
No,
not.
yeah,
No, you're not. You're gonna stay here. I'll be right back. And Fingers, like, ducks, like, out, and then it's just you, Meredith, and the kids.
I think Etheod is, like, staring at the ground, kind of just, like, shaking his head, and I think he's thinking about everything that, like, the fact that his parents were brought up, the fact that they called them traitors, and she was trying to get him to come back for, like, them being sick and all that, and just all of these horrible, like, feelings about, like, almost kind of finally coming to terms with the fact that his parents were awful and not, maybe, you know, maybe they didn't want to do that, like, all of that just kind of finally coming to terms with that not being true, and then all this happening. And I think he's also, like, trying so hard to not think about how it felt to kill that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then for whatever happened to, you know, them come back to life, and him being like, that must not have been real.
Mm-hmm.
That could not have happened.
Meredith is kind of, like, watching you. Are you just kind of staring straight ahead, or what?
I think, yeah, he's standing and he's just, like, staring at the ground. His head's, like, kind of lowered.
Could roll a perception check.
13.
That's funny. Meredith also got 13. You hear a shout.
From above?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, friggin' Etheod books it upstairs.
Wait, Etheod. And she, like, reaches out to, you know, grab at you. And, you like...
Yeah,
Make a acrobatics check.
Okay. 6.
You kind of, like, stumble up the stairs a little bit, and Meredith, like, grabs the back of your shirt.
Let go.
Where you going, kiddo?
Did you not hear that?
You don't need to... You can't do anything about it.
No, that's not happening. That's not happening. He's gonna keep trying to go up.
I think that she's gonna let you go.
Okay.
Like, she felt like she just needed to try.
Yeah.
You know? And as you open the door, you hear Fingers and Lucien talking. Fingers like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And Lucien is like, it's fine. Let's go back.
I think it's, like, going to where they are.
Mm-hmm. And you round the corner, and you see Fingers is, like, got one arm underneath Lucien's shoulder and is kind of just walking him back to the basement, kind of slowly.
Are you fine?
Lucien's just, like, kind of, like, nods his head, but he's kind of just looking into the middle distance.
He's gonna kind of look past Lucien at Hale.
Hale isn't breathing anymore.
Okay.
And Fingers is just kind of, like, looking at you. He's like, come on, man. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. And he's gonna, like, kind of stop and let you get in front of him and Lucien.
Mm-hmm.
And you all kind of, like, walk back into the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And you open the door, and Fingers and Lucien kind of walk down the stairs together.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that, and you kind of follow.
Yeah.
And Fingers is gonna kind of sit Lucien down on the stairs and lock the door behind you all. And Meredith is gonna kind of like when she sees Fingers and Lucien, she kind of runs over and she's just like, oh, Lucien. And she's like looking at him like up and much more fine than he was, but also like stabbed and kind of how are you laughing? And she's kind of doing the same like hover hand your whole body thing. And he's kind of just like looks up at her like he's not really looking at her. And Fingers is like, hey, give me a minute. I'll give you guys some privacy for a minute. And Meredith is going to kind of like walk over to like where the kids are. And Lucien's kind of just like, she walks over and kind of like puts her arms out because they're all like peeking and being like, you know, some the kids like, it's a Mish, you know, like excited to see you guys and relieved and stuff. And she's like, hey kids, we're going to play a game called the Quiet Game, like, you know, that type of thing. And you can hear Sana and Leela roll their eyes from where you are. And it's not a big basement, but there's enough, like, kids generate their own sounds enough that there's an amount of, like, white noise. So you have, like, a little bit of privacy. And Lucien is kind of sitting on the stairs just, like, staring and nodding. And Fingers has, like, one hand on his shoulder.
Well, on the bright side, this all made your brain work, and your leg is great. I'm sorry.
I'm fine. We've got to keep moving. You look fine. Sorry, man. I said I was fine, didn't I?
All right. Can you heal yourself a bit?
I'm not wasting any of that stuff on me.
It's not it. Listen.
Not yet, at least.
It wouldn't be a waste. If you went there and pulled your god power shit, I don't know what the fuck that was. I would have been toted off, so...
Oh. Thank you. That reminds me.
Okay.
And Lucien's gonna shut his eyes and put his hands together and bow his head and just kind of quiet for a minute.
What are you doing?
He's gonna kind of finish and look up at you and say, praying.
Why?
People died. Oh, haha, those weren't people.
Fingers, I'm one of them.
Lucien's kind of like, gonna like look over at Fingers and be like, don't you say that to me. Fingers is gonna kind of give like a wild-eyed smile and raise an eyebrow. And Lucien's gonna kind of look up at Etheod and say, "Hey, they didn't touch you, right? You're right."
Yeah, I'm fine. What the fuck was that?
What?
Coming back alive? Were they not dead?
I've read about it before.
About what?
Some sort of barbaric ability that you can bestow on people, so mark them, so that when they die, they come back, so you can still use them.
Oh.
It's not ethical. And he's gonna kind of like chuckle with no, like completely mirthlessly.
Yeah,
It's,
so I did kill someone.
he's gonna like look up at you and say, I know it's hard the first time.
No, it's fine.
You're defending yourself.
It's fine.
Why are you so worried about it? Lucian's gonna kind of like turn to Fingers and say, what is your problem, mate? Did you forget or something? You're one of them. Fingers is gonna like dig his nails into the wood of the stair and say, I wish I could. You guys didn't let me go after that girl.
Look, I'm gonna disappear.
No, you're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am. I don't know why they want me. I don't know why my parents are involved. I don't even... That's funny. I don't even remember my parents' names. I don't know what they are. I don't know why they would have an interest in me. And I don't know why the Queen would order this. I don't know what I could have possibly done wrong again, but there must have been something. So I'm just going to disappear, like I did before. Find somewhere else to go.
You had to leave, right?
Yes.
That's what happened. I remember, did you say to me that they cut off your horns?
Yes. My parents did. It's, when you get exiled from the Odazer clan, they cut off your horns.
What did you do?
Stole an apple.
He's gonna kind of like sit up. He's gonna kind of like look over at Fingers. And Fingers is gonna kind of look away. They would. He's saying to Fingers, they would cut somebody's horns off or something like that. Fingers is looking away. He's like, of course not. It's obviously a lie.
What?
You
I'm
don't have
not
to tell me
lying.
what you did. It doesn't matter what you did.
I'm not lying.
Etheod, come on, man.
Are you fucking serious?
He's gonna look over his shoulder at the kids in Meredith who are like peeking over. It's alright, man. It's fine. It doesn't change anything.
If you think that I I can't believe that. I can't.
What do you mean you can't believe it? Ethiod, that's ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever
I
heard.
know! What did they expect me to do, huh? They wouldn't feed me. I had to find the food myself, otherwise I didn't earn it.
Maybe you forgot or something. I know.
Forgot?
Yeah, maybe you forgot.
What do you think that I could have possibly done? I was 10.
I don't know. Ethiod, I did a lot of things when I was 10. change anything, right?
I'm not lying.
I believe you, mate. Something else must be going on. Fingers, calm down. His whole body is just rigid.
Etheod is like not breaking eye contact with Fingers at all. If you think I'm so evil, if I give a fuck about what happens to me.
Because I thought we were the same. I thought we were the same. I guess not.
What did you do, huh? Made you think that we are the same? What could possibly make you so evil?
Mish, you don't have to answer that. Doesn't matter. Would that change your anything? Would it change anything? I told you it didn't matter what you did.
It wouldn't fucking matter, but it...
Mate, what did you do? It might give us a clue to what they're after, Etheod.
I don't think it involves him at all.
What I mean is, he's like staring directly at Fingers. We might get a handle on the sort of things they cut horns off for.
They didn't cut off his horns.
What are you talking about? Yeah, I got it out. And I never got punished. So, I made it right. It's a lot easier to hide. I just wish I didn't do such a sloppy job. And he kind of opens his and closes his hands. What I did, Lucien, they wouldn't cut my horns off for.
What did you do?
I wouldn't be here talking to you guys right now.
What did you do?
Well, if they didn't cut off your horns, I don't think it's relevant. Regardless, we're gonna stay together.
I'm just going to get you guys killed. Something about me being alive is a
Etheod.
curse, so...
Etheod. You're gonna get a dead man killed?
What do you mean?
Like, looks down at himself.
You're not going to die. Especially if I'm not around.
You're not the only one people are looking for, mate.
You don't need more.
You watch my back, I'll watch yours. So he's gonna like look up at you. You're pretty tall.
Yeah.
That's all you got going for you, mate. Thinks that you'll need a hand if you get in a scrape.
I don't know, I pulled my weight.
That you did. I'm sorry, man.
I'm fine. I just wish I would be left alone. I feel like they did more than enough. But I guess not. Maybe it's because I didn't learn my lesson, you know? Found out I was still a thief or something.
Wherever it is, we'll find out. And even if we don't, we've got nowhere to be. Keep you safe. Fingers? I'm not going anywhere, man. I guess they're not as concerned about me. But at least the Thieves Guild's looking for me, for sure. If you want me to go.
Why would I want you to go?
Because I didn't realize we were so different.
I'm very different from everyone.
No, you're not. You're just like them, like all of them.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are, man. Don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about.
You don't. That doesn't mean that I want you to go anywhere.
Mate, just because you did something doesn't mean anything. You know what you're talking about. How could you if I don't tell you? But
I don't even know what to do. What there even is to do.
I guess we just keep moving forward.
Where? Doing what? I'm tired of this.
Are you?
Yeah.
Lucian's gonna stand up, put his hand kind of on the wall to help him, and he looks very uncomfortable. He says, "You're tired of it, so give up then."
It's not what I'm saying.
Going off alone. You all by yourself. It's the same thing.
Maybe it's what is meant. It's. I see, I was fine when I was by myself. I was left alone.
Maybe they weren't looking for you then, and they are now. It's good timing.
If something happens to me, it'd be fine if I was alone. Or.
What do you know it wouldn't be?
Or. There wouldn't be something that I could lose. I didn't have anything. Nothing could be taken away from me. This is what I was talking about. Like looking at Lucien. This is what I mean.
What do you mean, mate? We're all right here.
I can't. I'm not meant to have anything. I'm not meant to. It will just go away or be taken from me I'm not allowed. I don't know why. But that's why I'm different. And like kind of glances at fingers. I'm not. I'm. Other people can have stuff. Other people can have nice things. They can be normal. I'm not allowed. I've never been, and I'm still not. And
That's
this is
not-
proving that I'm not.
That's not right. Somebody like you, and he's gonna take his fingernails and he's like scratching at his arm. Somebody like you. That's not right. That's. I want to make it right. If I can. You're right. There's something special about you. You and him, and he's gonna look at the corner. And you can kind of see like Meredith has the kids all together, and she's just like huddled around them, and they're just like quiet in the corner while you guys do your thing. Something about you two. And it wouldn't be right for you to be alone and not have that. Mate, there's nothing special about him. There's nothing special about you either. Just a bunch of blokes. You know, destined to always be something. That makes no sense. It's the way it's shook out. And it's different now. You got put in a situation and couldn't do something about it at the time. Well, you can now. You don't want to be you, he doesn't want to be him. I don't want to be me. But you can't do anything about it. At some point, you've got to accept it and move forward. Stop looking at yourself like that. What do you know about that at all, huh? It's just a little cold. What's so wrong with that? Don't talk about things you don't know anything about. Lucian's gonna put his hand on Finger's shoulder and turn him around to face him. And he's gonna say, I'll tell you what's so wrong with it. I'll see you. And him. All of you. Doing this. He's gonna take his hand and put it on Finger's hand and grab it. Warm your hands up. In the wintertime. I can't do that. I couldn't do that.
Why does that matter?
It's gonna look at you and say, do you know what that feels like?
What, being cold?
To not be able to do anything. You sit there and watch somebody freeze to death. Or you sit there and take gulps of delicious frozen air. I swear to you, they spent the entire time I was there ribbing me non-stop. But my name, my skin, my eyes, the way I look, the way I talk, was so gloomy. That winter was so quiet. They were too tired. Well, shivering and shaking. Too sick. And I had nothing. No blankets, no bandages. Nothing but my health, so that I could perfectly appreciate every cough and wheeze. and do nothing at all to stop it. I don't know what I would have been able to do if I was warm. But maybe if I wasn't cold, I might have been able to freeze to death with them. At some point, you've got to get over it, mate. And once you have, let me know how you did it.
Etheod just kind of looks down at the ground, like, shamefully.
We've got to keep moving forward. Let's go.
Okay.
And that's where we're gonna end this episode.
Oh my god.
Emotional. What?
Freaking holy hell. My little heart can't take it, dude.
This is all about hurting you in as many varied ways as I can.
As many varied ways as possible.
Yeah, dang, we almost found out what fingers did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will he ever tell?
Will he ever tell? We're gonna go get noodles, maybe. It's 15 minutes before they call.
Well, you know. Goodbye.
Goodbye.